The Nutcracker sits under the holiday tree, a guardian of childhood stories. Feed him walnuts and he will crack open a tale. Tonight, that's precisely what we will endeavor to do. Hello and welcome to Flights of Fandom, the only stream bold enough, or nuts enough, perhaps, to adapt a ballet using a Jane Austen tabletop role-playing game, and then add Muppets for good measure. Flights of Fandom is a show where we create one-shot or several-shot improvised fan fiction using our favorite tabletop role-playing games. My name is Marissa, and I use she, her pronouns, and go by Critical Kitten most places on the internet. And I will be your Muppet Master, or rather your facilitator this evening. Tonight, we have for you an enthralling tale of innocence preserved and paradise discovered. Well, maybe that's overselling it. Tchaikovsky was known for saying, quote, "I like the plot of the Nutcracker not at all," because in truth, there is very little plot in the Nutcracker whatsoever. The beauty of the ballet is in its enchanting atmospherics, and we will attempt to capture that elusive air of magic and mystery using Good Society, a Jane Austen RPG system by Storybrewers Role-Playing, which is a highly collaborative role-playing game that uses narrative currency instead of dice to capture the heart of this Austinian period. That's right, we are not going to be playing with dice. And to top it all off, our rendition of this classic tale will take place in and use the narrative stylings of the Muppet movies. Welcome one and all to our Mupcracker. But what would any production of the Nutcracker be without its cast? I am delighted to introduce you to my four lovely players. So let's go around the table, give your name, pronouns, where we can find you on the socials, and the name of the major character and connection you'll be playing today. We'll introduce the characters themselves in a little bit more detail later on. So why don't we start with you, Hopper?
Oh, fuck. What's up, y'all? As per usual, I am your resident dumpster fire hopper. I use they, them pronouns, and I can be found in, on, around, and occasionally underneath the interwebs at Fail Deadly. That is Fail Deadly with a 3 instead of an E, so it kind of looks like Fail Badly. And tonight I will be playing... I will be playing Spritzer Mulaney Rattigan IV, who is definitely a Muppet. And my side character, or my what's the proper name? My connection character that I will be playing?
Mm-hmm. Your connection
is Lord William Silver, the esteemed patriarch of this house of shenanigans.
Lovely.
Was there something else you needed from me?
No, go for it. I guess we'll go to Zach next.
Sure. I'm not sure I can follow that. I am Zach, otherwise known as Great Zamino all over the internet. I use he, him pronouns. I'm very grateful to be once again joining the crew for Flights of Fandom. This week I will be playing Herr Franz Audubon, a hedonist Muppet of some ill repute. And I will also be playing Herr Strudelmeyer, but a humble bachelor, veteran, and tinker.
Beautiful. Pooja.
Hello, I am Pooja. You can find me on the internet at Pooja, and on Twitter, and at Poojaberwalkie on Instagram and in chat tonight. And I am playing Lady Rebecca Silva, definitely a Muppet. And she's very proper and probably not a Jane Austenian heroine you'd like, because she's also very vain about it, very rich. And the other character that I'm playing is excuse me, Sir Peterswold Malarkey, an absolute arsehole who is a human, but also really, really dislikes a pretender amongst us.
Beautiful.
Hopper will tell us more about that.
And finally, to wrap us all up, David.
Hey there, everybody. David here. Pronouns are he, him. I'm a graphic designer, an illustrator, and a game designer. You can go check out my stuff over at dbb-8.itch.io. This evening, I will be essaying the role of Jean-François Lagrandnez, Comte de Pamplemousse, as well as Countess Abby Downton.
Perfect. Thanks very much for that. Before we dive in here, first, a quick word about the system, the mechanics, and the collaborative nature of the game. So the system is actually new to almost all of our players, and it may be to some of you as well. So a couple key things to keep in mind. Unlike a standard TTRPG where a GM crafts a world that players navigate, we're actually all going to be working together as co-authors, which means that there is no narrative power, for instance, that I have as a facilitator that my players don't themselves have. My function as a facilitator is actually to serve the story by keeping an eye on pace and the flow of scenes, and also to help tease out elements of character and story that could make our game richer, basically digging deeper into things that happen during play. So you'll see a lot of us talking together between ourselves to suggest things for each other's characters, connections, and thematic or narrative pivots as we go along. As I said before, instead of rolling dice, players can influence the story by using a narrative currency called resolve tokens, which can be spent to dramatically change the story and impact another character in a big way. So leaked character secrets, that kind of thing. There's always a phase called negotiation, which takes place during the exchange of resolve tokens as a safeguard against consent and ensures that everyone's on board with the proposed changes to the story. So while significant changes to the story come at the cost of a resolve token, others that won't have a major influence on the game, like let's say this family has a cat, that does not require a resolve token. As this is a one-shot, we'll only be going through one cycle of play, and to boot, we will be changing up that cycle of play from the game's standard in order to better fit the narrative of the Nutcracker. So we'll be hacking Good Society just a little bit here to kind of fit what the narrative there is in the Nutcracker. So walking through the order of events really quick, as the Nutcracker in fact takes place over one long evening, we're actually going to be doing our epistolary and our rumor and scandal phases at the top of our novel chapter to give you all some background on how these characters already relate to one another going into the evening. During the epistolary phase, we actually write letters to one another. So that looks like player characters and connections writing letters to whomever they want, or they can compel someone to write them a letter or someone else a letter by spending a resolve token. During the rumor and scandal phase, which will follow that, we will all create and spread rumors about the town, which will affect the starting conditions of our first novel chapter. If they are spread, those rumors really catch on and start impacting the story. And if not, they fade away after this evening. This will lead us into our novel chapter, which is where we're going to actually set the scene and start playing. Normally, the first novel chapter of a game is a large event where all the characters have a chance to meet each other. And in our case, this is going to be a Christmas ball, themed, of course, only after the Nutcracker. Reputation phase will follow the first novel chapter, during which time we will assess the major character's behavior during that novel chapter to determine whether it has changed wider society's perception of them. And through that, we will create reputation tags, which will either turn into the flavored resolve tokens that players can spend, or if they accumulate too many, can turn into a permanent positive or negative reputation condition. The second novel chapter will be a little bit less structured, with a number of one-on-one or small group scenes that people can ask to have, followed by a reputation phase running into the epilogue. One final mechanical thing to note, monologue tokens. Everyone starts out with one of these, and you can spend it at any time during the game to force another character to have a spotlight moment and share their inner monologue during a particularly dramatic moment, current or past, out loud. So if you still have your monologue token by the end, you are forced to use it in a final scene so that everyone gets a chance to monologue. Desires can change at any point as well. And I think that's all from a systems perspective. Any questions from the cast or things I should elaborate on?
I think more will come up as we go along, but
Perfect.
not at the moment.
All right. One last thing, during collaboration, which is a phase that's already taken place, we decided we're going to be playing with a farce tone for the game, because Muppets, obviously, that we're going to have historical accuracy being only a little important. We will have a historical gender power balance, because you can actually have like a reverse gender power balance in this game, which is fantastic. But we're going to go with historical for purposes of this. And then finally, there will be no hidden information in our game. So to kick us off, if we could have everyone introduce their major character in a little bit more depth, say what your character role is, your family background, your relationship to the other characters and desire, and then maybe once again mention the connection you'll be playing as well as which other major player character they're connected to. And for those keeping score, we are playing with the partial farce playset. So let's go back to the top. Hopper, if you want to kick us off with a little bit more about your character.
So my primary character is because this is Muppets Nutcracker, we're not acknowledging the fact that they are not human, or he is not human. You see a young, handsome, gray-furred rat with just kind of wobbling all over the place in a British officer's uniform, a la the Napoleonic era. Looks kind of dashing for a rat in a Welcome to the Black Parade looking fucking suit. And it just seems to be very awestruck by all the things around us. This is Spritzer Mulaney Radigan IV, a recently returned veteran from the wars, and he's just a guy, you know. He's just doing his thing. He's doing his thing. Just poking around. Nothing suspicious here. Nothing weird here. Just
none at all.
Nothing. No.
Now, what is your character background and character role?
So my character background is I forget which one's which, but I'm a new arrival with the military background. That might be a lie. That could be reversed. Spritzer is a veteran, as I said, recently returned from the Napoleonic Wars, and came back a little bit different. But nobody seems too concerned about that.
If you do want to elaborate on your relationship and desire, you can, but also if you'd rather we see that in play, we can withhold it for now.
I would say you might see a dirty look being cast from one Sir Peterswold Malaki, a right jackass who doesn't like Spritzer. And like, what's not to love? It's just adorable. Look at his fur. Look at these eyes. Look at his mouth. He just doesn't like Spritzer for some reason, and there's clearly nothing that a young, handsome rat in a military uniform could possibly be hiding.
Obviously nothing at all. No secrets there.
None.
Fantastic. All right, next we move to Herr Franz Autobahn.
Yes, I am playing Herr Franz Audubon, who, when you look at them, you see the majestic sweep of a nose and watch as it sweeps up into a full curl, all the better accentuated by a kind of a lustrous pinkish skin, very neatly coiffed, really kind of tight curly hairs that really resemble more lengths of yarn, kind of curled very tightly and neatly, worn without a top hat because they are a bit of a hedonist, a little bit ill-reputed, and they must dress the part. They are wearing probably he is wearing probably the latest fashion, a fine suit, to fine light gray suit to better accentuate the pinkness of his skin. You also notice where you might be thinking Gonzo at first, the one difference is there's a much more pronounced upper lip here, as kind of like almost like this kind of gives them a very aristocratic vibe and kind of appearance, and almost as though he's kind of looking on through half-lidded big ping pong ball sized eyes, as if a little bit disdainful. This is Herr Franz Audubon, who is casting a few glances towards the way of Lady Rebecca Silver and her father, Lord Silver, with not a little bit of a hint of longing, and which I'm sure won't come up at all.
Not at all. No, Good Society is a game that isn't whatsoever about longing or yearning or anything like that. Wrong game. You got the wrong game, Zach.
Listen here, we don't long. We don't yearn. We don't stare achingly and soulfully. This ain't that type of game. If you want that type of game, you go to another game, like a crunchy system like D&D.
Well,
And we certainly don't pine. We never pine.
I am
Or spruce.
Oh,
I feel
I'm
like
most
there
certainly.
is a number, like there is a musical number where all the characters sing about how they don't long or pine as part of this.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that
Yes.
tracks.
Maybe
In
it got
true
cut
Muppet style.
in the final.
I do
edit,
not
but
burn. I do not
it was
pine. I
definitely
do not
written and
perish.
filmed.
Sorry, I'm
I-
mixing my sources.
But still, perfect title for that, Pooja. Lovely. And with that, actually, perfect segue, Lady Rebecca Silver. Tell us about yourself.
Well, Lady Rebecca Silver, you see, is a very bright-eyed young lady of standing. You see light brown skin, big eyes, and perfectly Regency era coiffed curls that top her head. And as you go past her soft Muppet body into a long, bushy tail that curls up behind her. Yes, Lady Rebecca Silver is a squirrel. She is also an heir and with a peerage background, hence the title Lady. She is a lady of access to means, though none of her own, because she's a woman. She is the only child of Lord Silver, and as you will see, under quite a lot of pressure to wed, as 22-year-old women are wont to be.
Liliana Stydian times, yes.
Yes. She has many suitors, and all I will say is that of them, one seems to have caught her eye, but you shall have to see which one it is. And then I also play, as I mentioned before, Sir Peter's World Malarkey, who is an asshole with a mean streak, who's after our delightful young rat friend, and will stop at nothing to bring him to ruins.
As any good rival does, yes.
Yeah, cartoon villain engage.
Perfect.
Honestly, it's about respect. If you gotta put in your all. If you're gonna be a rival, you can't half-ass it.
Yeah, no.
I mean-
Actually, if you asked him, he might describe Spritzer as his arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Because he's Eton educated. Of course, he respects good literature and knows the value of a good arch nemesis.
I think he sounds like someone who would debate how many paces is appropriate during a duel.
Yes.
Like, is it 10? Is it 8? What is the proper number of paces?
Do you turn after 10 or on 10?
Exactly.
Is it paper, scissors, rock, go, or paper, scissors, rock? Or is it rock,
Yes.
paper, scissors? Oh yeah, he's had many.
Rock, paper, knife, motherfuckers.
And finally, Jean-Francois Le Granet.
well, okay, so tonight I'm playing Jean-Francois Le Granet, Comte de Pamplemousse. You must imagine for yourselves a red belt of some sort with a big yellow beak coming out, dressed in the style of a most fashionable Regency dandy. He has a top hat that is so many yards tall, it is never on the top of the hat is never on the screen. And he is, of course, a meddler of great renown, and is, can you even believe it, a foreign person. I believe as I get into my letter in the epistolary phase, it will become apparent what his desire here as a meddler is, and as well his important relationships. That is Jean-Francois.
Perfect. Well, everyone, we have a
French
very...
people, sorry for the nosebleeds.
Yes, agreed.
I will not apologize to any French people. I'm doing this as an act of aggression, and you have to deal with it.
I mean, let's admit,
Especially
this is
French Canadians.
very Muppets. It is very Muppets.
It is.
So,
And very Nutcracker. I watched it today for the first time. It is not offensive.
That is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Yeah, fair.
As per usual, Flights of Fandom, we take we go after content that we want to reclaim, which is what we're doing.
And turn
Yeah,
it on its
so,
head.
like, I want to reclaim the French, for example.
I think that's I think we've established this is an act of aggression. This is reclaim in the way that, like, we're gonna
Reclaiming can be aggressive.
liberate a thing that we do not
That isn't
currently
asking
own,
for
never
freedom
have
and
owned.
isn't
We will
under
be greeted as
oppression at all.
liberators.
We're here to rescue
David's-
you from the calamity you are unaware of that we have made up for you.
David's on a one-man mission to besiege the Bastille. Let's let him have it.
I'm here for it.
And we couldn't have Bastille Day this year. It was ridiculous. They closed everything. We gotta take it back.
I think that's good. I could see that being the subtitle of the Mupcracker. The Mupcracker besieging the Bastille. Perfect.
Sir, you are in
Wait.
Regency England. May I remind you?
Yeah, I'm the foreigner. I'm a delightful French stereotype. I come over and I do the wackiness in the Regency England.
Perfect.
Look out.
Sorry, Marissa. You've signed up for a lot of this bullshit.
You know what? I am here for it, everybody.
I feel in my heart it's what the Muppets would do.
It is. It is indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, without further ado, let's send some letters, shall we? Who would like to go first?
I think I have one.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
All
Air
right.
France.
And this is a letter from Air France Audubon to Lord Silver. Mm. Salutations, Lord Silver. I hope this letter finds you well. I am most grateful to you and Jean-Francois this season for your hospitality and for the kindness you and your family have afforded me. It is my understanding that you have a keen interest in art and some of the fine creations of Herr Strudelmeyer. The Comte de Pamplemousse has certainly had a great deal to say about your discerning eye and love of the arts. I would be most certainly interested in viewing more of what Havishire has to offer in this regard. While I consider myself spoiled by the fine works on offer in the galleries of Dusseldorf, I know that there are wonders too numerous in this wide world to take for granted. Most importantly, I would appreciate yours, and perhaps Lady Silver's, talents as a guide and a curator to better help me see what's what, as it were, in Havishire. I eagerly await your reply and, hopefully, your assent. Sincerely, Air France Audubon.
Lord Silver, do you wish to reply?
So I guess here's my question: is this an old letter? How old is this letter? When was this sent?
This letter looks like it has been unfolded, refolded. I'm just giving you like a tactile.
Oh, this is a good society tradition. You have to describe exactly what parchment. Is it thick? Is it thin? What's it like? Please give us your tactile interpretation.
Oh yeah, it looks as though it has been probably folded and unfolded a great deal. It is on the finest paper stock that is available, probably like a nice vellum. There are, you can tell that this penmanship is very fine and very like kind of coddled and kind of poured over. What you don't see are the numbers of letters that have been scrunched up and thrown into a wastebasket that preceded this one. I would say this is probably one of the first letters that that I sent on my arrival in Havishire, probably after a chance meeting with the Silvers one day.
Yeah, so this would have been this. I imagine this is. Oh, pardon me. I need to put on my voice and my hat
Yes,
for full
connection
character
costumes.
Oh, Papa.
connection costume. As we all
Papa.
know,
I apologize.
I'm
Papa.
very I am Lord William Silver, and I am a very distinguished and legitimate person. Yeah, I believe this letter gets carried around close to my heart, as it is frequently tucked into the jacket of my rather delightful velvet evening coat that I wear all the time, even when it's not quite appropriate. So I think we cut to a much more recently written letter, perhaps 2 months prior to the events of this fine, delightful show, and you see in the back of a carriage a hand writing this letter. It bounces a little bit, the hat wobbles a little bit aggressively, and it reads such: "Dearest Franz, I hope my correspondence finds you in the best of health. Business negotiations are going well, and the cosmopolitan nature of the city is, as ever, wonderful. That being said, I find my heart longing for Habershire and the warmth of the study's fire and its company. I hope your stay has not been discomfortable in my absence, and that Rebecca, that's actually like literally just the carriage keeps bouncing when he's trying to write that. But the on-screen narrator does that exact stutter. And that Rebecca is behaving herself. I have acquired a rather excellent folio on Bavarian clockwork, which I have couriered to you along with this letter. I look forward to hearing your review of it over a pipe and a brandy in the late evening upon my return, if the idea strikes you as favorable. Regrettably, it will be another fortnight before I should return to your company. If there is anything that would strike your fancy here in London, include that in your reply. Do tell me how you and Rebecca fare during these days, as I cannot help but turn my thoughts to your well-beings. I shall return as quickly as possible to you. Faithfully yours, William."
Lovely. Now, anyone else have a letter?
I have a letter, but it is sent the day of, so I think chronologically I'd like to wait until.
Okay.
Closer to
Anyone
the
have
next
an
one.
earlier letter?
I definitely have an earlier one.
All right, let's go to you.
All right. We see a letter just folded gorgeously, crisp edges of this very high quality parchment, stamped with the wax seal of the Grand Nez Comte de Pamplemousse, which is I think just a side portrait of himself with his big giant beak, and the letter is addressed to Herr Strudelmeyer, and reads as follows: "Mon cher Herr Strudelmeyer, it is with greatest pleasure that I accept your most generous invitation to the Strudelmeyer annual Christmas ball. I look forward to traveling across the channel to your home from my chateau in Pamplemousse. These events have always been the highlight of my year, ever since the commencement of our particular friendship some years ago, and I relish the opportunity to take in your good drink and good wisdom. However, this year I bring a surprise. My good companion, Herr Franz Audubon, one of your countrymen and an incredibly eligible bachelor. I have taken Herr Audubon under my wing, as you once took me. I must confess he does not have the most sterling reputation, but I see great promise in him, and I am determined to lift the young man into the ranks of respectability. And what, mon cher Studemeyer? What could be more respectable for a young man than a respectable marriage? It is my hope that our mutual friend, Lord William Silver, will be in attendance at your ball, along with his most charming daughter, Lady Rebecca. Aha! I hear you ask, but what of my former attachment to Lady Rebecca? It is past, I assure you. Wombats under the bridge, Lady Rebecca and I are but amicable friends now, and nothing more. I wish for her only the best, and I assure you the best is my companion, Herr Audubon. I am determined to make this happy course of events transpire upon your Christmas ball, and I trust that nothing of any sort shall impede them in any way whatsoever. I look forward to raising a glass with you soon, mon ami. Yours most truly, Jean-François les grands nez comme des pamplemousses.
I'm just gonna have to let you guys know I'm going to have to mute myself every time David talks.
I was going to say, so I lied earlier. The new subtitle for this program is Wombats Under the Bridge. It's now officially the Mupcracker Wombats Under the Bridge.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Amazing. Okay.
That's the best ad lib I've ever heard in my entire goddamn life.
Love it. It's so good.
Oh, it was not an ad lib. It was very carefully prepared. don't get
Dear
twisted.
God. Touché, sir.
Do you wish to reply, or do you wish to save that for a scene?
I think I should probably save that for a scene. I think Strudelmeyer is an inscrutable character. Let's call it that.
Not a Muppet without a way of words per se.
Should we?
Mhm.
Or should we draw a word web about what just got illustrated here? This Tangle connection for our viewers?
Yeah, we should.
Go
Because
for
it's
it.
fucking stupid. In case you're missing this, so just in case you got distracted by wombats and the sheer ridiculousness of all these characters, the Comte de Pamplemousse is trying to marry Lord William Silver's daughter, Rebecca, to Herr Franz Autobahn, who is definitely 100% for sure not in a long-term yearning homoerotic relationship with Lord William Silver, and is bringing another person into this for reasons unknown. Just to be clear on how weird this is.
I love
This
it.
is good society, y'all.
And
What it
because
is.
it is Jane Austen times, I will say, for those curious, Rebecca is 22 and her dad is 40 because old times. And the Comte de Pamplemousse, how old are you with your former attachment to a 22-year-old?
Le Comte de Pamplemousse is about the age of 35.
It's amazing. Not only is he over her,
Fairly
he's gonna
to
hook her
middle
up with somebody else.
Who happens to be her dad's partner.
Okay.
Beautiful.
All right.
So actually, I think this letter probably arrives a few days before the ball. As facilitator, I am playing a connection character of Clara Strudemeyer, who, for those of you familiar with the Nutcracker Ballet, Clara is the titular character. And so, as we do in many things in Flights of Fandom, we're going to tell this story with the main character present, but most of the action not happening in a way that involves the main character directly. So Clara is actually a connection in this story. So Lady Rebecca, you receive a letter from your dear friend, Clara. This letter is written on rich, thick parchment, as though nicked from someone of means, most likely her parents, and is well covered by Clara's fair hand. She has written the letter all the way to the margins and has folded it particularly precisely inside the envelope, as though it was done with great care and precision. Lady Rebecca Silver, I find myself forgetting that we have practically become neighbors now. In spite of our extravagant entrees into Haberdasherian high society, you still seem so very far away. It's so long since we've been girls together. It's so strange to think how we're growing up. I've been scheming of ways we might escape these doldrums and all the paces that our families put us through, without, of course, incurring their severe reproof. And I've had several ideas, actually. Only one or two of which involve you or me kidnapping one another. Realistically, however, it's most likely that we shan't see each other until my family's Christmas ball. You will attend, won't you? I shall be ever so bored if I don't see you there. No one to talk to. Everyone else is old and tired and has nothing worth saying. They're not interesting. It's all this talk of high society and who is moving up what social ranks. Well, you know this stuff. So boring. Anyway, I thought that maybe if you come to my party, we could hang out and escape some of that. And, well, you know, I hope regardless, even if you can't come to my party, that you will continue to be my correspondent. After all, I depend on you for that. And, well, we must give the post office in Haberdashire something to do now, shan't we? Yours, Clara.
adorable. So what are the options? What happens if you don't write a letter back now? What's the option?
Completely fine. You can see it in scene in the first novel chapter, if you want to kind of talk about that letter.
Okay.
But remember, you do have 2, so if you want to respond, you can. You don't have to.
Yeah, I what I would want to write, I can't come up with off the cuff that fast is the issue. So I'll save it for in scene.
Fair. Lovely.
And then, I do have a letter as well. But there's a different character. Please hold costume change. This is all right. Do I look creepy-ish? Stupid headphones. All right.
This is the arsehole jacket.
Yes.
Yes.
So you on I don't know where is Spritzer, wherever Spritzer's staying, a letter arrives, and it is in obnoxiously rich parchment and in a obnoxiously almost unreadable scrawl, and I can link the letter in Discord since I did write it in that almost illegible scrawl, or somebody can pick it up from the Discord and drop it in the Twitch chat. And it reads, Dearest Mistress Spritzer Mulaney Radigan IV, it has come to my attention that you have been spending increasing amount of time in the wonderful town of Habishire in the presence of the inimitable family Silva. If this is indeed true, I must warn you that I shall brook no such villainy, and neither shall the esteemed lord nor the sweet lady. Do not be fooled, sir, into thinking that they shall fall for the ruses of a scoundrel such as yourself. You may have fooled others into believing your stories, but I remain convinced that you do not belong in this good society, and shall make every best effort to see you shunned. Turn your eyes from the dear Lady Rebecca if you value your reputation, for I shall not refrain from doing what I must to bring truth to the light. Your reckoning will be upon you during the upcoming festivities if you do not do the proper thing and remove yourself from decent company with haste. Your servant, Sir Peterswold Malaki.
So you take that, Spritzer.
I think you just I think you see you cut to like I kind of imagine Spritzer's staying in like some sort of well-appointed kind of inn type thing. Like I imagine this is still the era where inns really exist, so probably in like a fairly nice but not too nice room on the 3rd story of a quaint little stone and timber construction, and we're peering in through, like there's maybe a light snow falling. We're peering in through the window, and you just see like this rat, the back of this rat head just kind of go. Who the fuck is this guy? What's all this shit, huh? What are you? You're servant. Go fuck yourself. Whoops, so that's right, we're Muppets. Sorry, go frack yourself. And just kind of like starts to scrawl a reply, and then and crumples that up and throws it away, and then does that again. It's like, nah, and then chucks it in the fireplace.
Where it probably goes up with like a plume of smoke, just like puff.
Yeah, it like burns better because it's such over-the-top nice paper. It burns better than the logs in the fireplace.
Beautiful. All right, anyone else have a letter to send? You have a maximum of 2, and I think everyone's done at least 1 now.
Mm-hmm.
But you do not have to do 2. So that's the other thing. If you feel happy with 1, we can move on to rumor and scandal.
I feel like 1 is perfectly good.
I'm ready to move on.
Yeah.
All right. Rumor and scandal time. Okay, to catch everyone up where these characters are, kind of on medias res, we've decided to put the rumor and scandal phase up front of the novel chapter, just to kind of suss out what kinds of things might be floating about town in terms of rumors about our motley crew and their interconnections to one another, which you can probably already guess are many. So here's how this works. You each get effectively 2 actions during the rumor and scandal phase. You can propose a rumor. You can then also spread effectively spread someone else's rumor after you can use your second attempt to do that if that's what you'd rather do. So you can propose up to 2 rumors of your own. You could also, propose one and spread one, or you could spread 2 if you don't really want to come up with a rumor. So who has a rumor to spread?
Okay, so I've filled in the first one on our list here. The rumor that I would like to introduce is that Herr Audubon is a fugitive from justice in his homeland.
Ooh, I like that.
I would like to. Can I also introduce a rumor?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. This was one of mine because I think it's hilarious. A character who we haven't seen too much of yet. But there is a rumor buzzing about Habisher that the visiting dowager, Countess Abby Downton, is here to visit one of her secret children.
Ooh. Countess
Born out
Abby
of-
Downton has a secret child? What? I like it.
I will go ahead and spread the rumor that Herr Strudelmeyer has been seen leaving the city frequently, but he hasn't. But according to everyone who has met him or is acquainted, he has neither the temperament nor the means to make frequent travel such an important part of his life.
Just to clarify, so are you using effectively both your turns to introduce that rumor and then to spread it?
Oh, just to introduce. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I will introduce another rumor that the Lady Rebecca and the Comte de Pamplemousse, while they publicly broke off their former engagement, they are still secretly engaged.
Hmm.
And trailing off of that, I would introduce the rumor that Lady Rebecca turned down a proposal from a perfectly handsome duke. She is getting too vain for her own good.
Interesting. Love these rumors. Okay, now I think everyone has at least introduced one. So for those of you who have 1 turn remaining, is there any particular rumor you'd like to spread? And just to give context to this decision, what happens to a spread rumor is effectively it can start to influence the story, and most of society begins to believe that rumor. And mechanically, what that means is that it becomes like a resolve token that's available to anyone. But the thing about it is that when you use that resolve token, it has to use that rumor in some way. Like, because society heard this thing, this is what happens.
I know what I want to do.
What would you like to do?
I would like to spread the rumor of the secret child of the Dowager, Abby Downton.
Perfect. Love it. So spread.
I really love the fugitive from justice. The Herr Franz Bons Audubon, what's his face, is on the run, kind of hanging out in this country. It sounds sus.
On the run. Love it. Okay. So spread.
So is the option to spread or introduce a second rumor?
Yes.
Okay.
You can spread
like,
someone
I
else's,
used-
or you can introduce another one. So you,
I
David,
used
in
both
already
my turns to introduce 2 different rumors,
correct.
and I'm not going to spread it.
So you're done.
I will. I think that that's really interesting. The Lady Rebecca one about turning down a proposal. So I will go ahead and spread that. I think that
Okay.
one's a really good one.
Lovely. So that leaves us with effectively 3 free resolve tokens that can be used at any point in either novel chapter going into the first one. So keep that in mind. And if you want to use this the resolve token associated with this rumor, just say so. And then once it's used, we'll cross it off the list as though that rumor never existed then.
Okay.
All right. That brings us out of rumor and scandal. And so without further ado, let the role-playing commence into our first novel chapter. Just to set the scene, the year is 1813. We open on the snowy gables of the Haberdasher houses. The camera is effectively zooming over these rooftops. The lamp-lighters are plying their trade. They're lighting these gas lamps. They're flickering. It's all very cozy and winter in England. You see a variety of animals in top hats with monocles. You see some others dressed in full Regency finery. Humans and Muppets alike are trekking over the cobblestones of this bustling town of Haberdasher. The camera then pans over to catch up with our first character, Spritzer. Where do we find you, and how are you preparing for tonight's ball?
Well, you see Spritzer, and he's just seems to be pulling the finishing touches on this very formal British officer's uniform, and just tightening all the buttons. There's a corset underneath there. So you definitely see a thing where like he's just kind of like pulling at the laces, and like the eyes bug out a little bit. Of this rat muppet, and he's gonna he straightens his jacket, tucks himself off, tucks his collar in. I don't know. This is all very unfamiliar, and goes over to the mirror and just kind of like does a little preen of the whiskers that are still go right back into being very frazzled. Looks like he's been electrocuted, and just checks his breath. And then puts on an overcoat and heads out the door.
Now, do you arrive on foot at the ball or in a carriage?
I think, yes, on foot, which is not the norm.
Yes, that will cause quite a scandal. Indeed.
Look, it was a rough few years on the front.
Fair enough. Franz von Autobahn, how do we find you?
I think that I would like to say that Herr Franz is is once again kind of dressing up in this gray suit, very fine. Of course, because you only see Muppets from the waist up, you can't kind of imagine their really nice kind of knee-high boots or anything like that. But you see that Franz is looking at this like kind of like necktie or kerchief and is trying to kind of set it right and just, well, I think it goes over here and then kind of gets distracted while looking at a kind of a handbill of different what you realize are different galleries from around Havishire, and kind of like looking around and seemingly getting distressed, or not distressed, but like lost in his own thoughts. We kind of pan back, and you see now that the necktie is a knot, but also the arms of Franz are also a knot. And then you said like, and then kind of like tips over and falls over. But kind of cut to coming out of, I believe, Pomplamoos's estate, readying a carriage to make it to the ball. And finally deciding that rather than have the neckerchief done in the current style, it is just loose on the sides, as in the style of a rake.
Ah, yes, very rakish of you. Wonderful. Jean-Francois, where do we find you preparing for the ball?
I just want to cut ahead to. Is it okay if I just cut ahead to the arrival of Jean-Francois?
Go for it.
Because Jean-Francois is just coming right in. He has, I think, literally traveled from the boat that he crossed over to jolly old England on. We see a gleaming polished to a luster carriage with an elaborate gold coat of arms on the door pull up in front of the Strudelmeyer residence. We are at the Strudelmeyer residence ultimately, right?
Yes. Yes. Clara's family is the Strudelmeyers.
Right. At the Strudelmeyer residence, drawn by a team of, I don't know, let's say 4 horses. 4 seems good. And there is, of course, a very well-dressed, what's the word for the carriage driver? There's a word, and I don't know what it is. Is it a groom?
I think
That's somebody who takes care of horses.
I think it's just a coachman, right?
Yeah, it's coachman.
There's a very well-dressed coachman, a very serious-looking human, and the beautiful polished door of the carriage just bursts open, and we see the aforementioned, previously described Jean-Francois Legrandnez, Comte de Pamplemousse, come out of the carriage, sort of bounce down the walkway with his top hat and his big old beak, carrying a little cane with a jeweled knob on the end of it, going into the house. And anybody who's out there, he's sort of, or anybody of society who's out there, he is greeting with a hearty bonjour, mes amis, bonjour, eh! As he bounces into the house.
Lovely. And Lady Rebecca, how are you preparing for the ball?
The scene cuts to perhaps a little bit earlier in the day, several hours before the ball, where you see Lady Rebecca seated in front of her vanity as her lady's maid carefully curls the little front curls on her squirrel head, and you also see a couple of ribbons tied in her little tail to give them the appropriate curvature. And the maid applies, in a scene completely ripped from Bridgerton, the maid applies some homemade rouge to the lady's cheeks to give her a little bit of color in this English winter. And as Lady Rebecca stands up after being made up, you see a beautifully embroidered golden gown with delicate beading through the front in what is and will always be a non-flattering silhouette. Because what is going on with the ass in those Regency dresses, you will never know until it's too late.
It's too late.
What a
You will never
terrifying
know.
threat.
What? I don't know why I'm scared, but
I think maybe you should be.
I think I should be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's at least with the Muppet, there's a tail, so you can have some idea. For humans, it's just like mystery. Sorry,
I was gonna say, is there like a hole in the dress for the tail, or are you like trying to like
Or does
smush
it go-
your tail
I
into
think
like the bustle?
Okay, so to nerd out, I actually saw this is like for D&D, but also for Ren Fair, about like how you would wear armor or clothing if you had a tail. And basically there are ties that crisscross, like the fabric crisscrosses over and under with these beautiful ties that then goes into the rest of the dress. And there is a perfectly proper tail-sized opening that allows the beautifully curled and bushy tail to escape. Lady Rebecca is a squirrel. The tail is as important as her delicate features are.
She must be well coiffed.
She is always well coiffed. So with that, you see Lady Rebecca descend down the stairs and link her arm with Papa's as they head towards one of their beautiful carriages to head to the is it the Strudelmeyer estate?
Mm-hmm. The Strudelmeyer house.
The Strudelmeyer house from the I don't know, I didn't come up with a title for Lord. William Silver of Regency or peerage. What? No one's last name is their title, and anyway, so they intend to arrive neither too early nor too late, but what is perfectly acceptable of a lord and lady of their station in Habisher society.
I think as
Ooh,
the two
Duke
of
of
you,
Acorn, I do like that.
I love that.
I love that. Duke of Acorn. Perfect.
Just to be
We're
clear,
going with
Lord
it.
William Silver is played by a human in this, which makes it that much funnier. But in the flashbacks, we see that his wife was also a squirrel.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes.
For sure.
So really, Lady Rebecca is half human, half squirrel, I guess, is
I
what
mean,
we can take from that.
I do like the Muppets convention established very thoroughly in such classics as Muppet Christmas Carol, that if you do have two Muppets of different species or types, exactly half of the children will be pigs and exactly half of the children will be frogs.
Ah,
Yes.
not a Punnett square.
This is.
I wonder if that holds true with like genetics between humans and Muppets, which
Probably.
I believe
That becomes
100% it
terrifying
does.
very quickly.
Hold
Yeah.
on, I'm gonna get my whiteboard. I'll be right back.
If you have a Muppet, if you have one Muppet parent and one human parent, like
Is it
you are
Mendel?
50-50
Mendel is losing his
chance
shit somewhere.
Of being
Yeah.
either one, but you're not any kind of mix. You're either one or the other. So
Yeah, it's not a
have
square.
yeah,
It's
Punnett
a-
square.
It's not a
It's not a
Punnett
square, it's a
binary.
flow chart.
Your
It's a
human
flow
siblings.
chart.
Yeah.
major flashbacks to biology in freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. Right. Well, I think society gossips about Lady Silver and Lord Silver as they approach in a positive way, like commenting on how well timed your entrance was, how sparkling your carriage is. But I think as you approach the door, a figure comes dashing out the door and across like the long entryway of this estate, and it's Clara just like running at you, Rebecca, and she just throws herself into your arms. Oh, Rebecca, you came. I'm so pleased.
Of course, Clara. I could never miss such an event as this. I'm so pleased to be here tonight.
Well, we're very pleased to have you.
My
And she
father
kind
is
of-
delighted to attend as well. I will tell you, this is the one event I did not have to twist his arm too much to attend.
Clara
It
sort of
seems this-
realizes that like Lord Silver is there. Oh, Lord Silver. She curtsies.
Who's playing Lord
Yes.
Silver?
young Miss Strutelmeyer. It is, as always, it is a pleasure to see you. You've grown quite a bit, haven't you?
Yes, I was just writing to your daughter about how we're getting much older now. But
Too old if you ask some people in society.
true. But come now, we shouldn't talk of all those things.
Of course not. That is not what tonight is about. Tonight is about
Of course.
fun and delight, and I can't wait to see the adventures you have planned for us.
You have to see the tree. The tree is so big, they needed so many people to put it up in the entryway, and there's so many glistening ornaments, and come, I'll show you.
Lead the way, my dear.
And I think she sort of
She links
follows you.
arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
They go right in, leaving dear old dad standing by the
Dear
carriage.
old dad kind of flourishes his cape slightly and just takes this heavy, probably like a hawthorn walking stick, and just trudges slowly.
You're
and
40.
moving
Why do you have a
onwards.
walking stick?
Yeah.
It's about the aesthetic,
40
darling.
in the 1800s. He's like practically dead.
Yes. I have seen many winters, and I grow long in tooth. Soon I shall die and leave the air. Leave.
I don't know
the
about
bell-
everybody in this chat, but aren't many of us like not that far from 40?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking.
I don't appreciate being called out like this, but okay.
think
This is not a
forevermore-
game of spry 18-year-olds, y'all.
Lord
I'm
Silver
imagining-
forevermore will be called Lord Snaggletooth Silver.
Lord Snaggletooth Silver.
he's like hot old, you know?
Oh yeah, he's like Lord Silver is very much silver. It's more like Lord
Oh.
Silver Fox.
Oh,
yeah.
there's some George Clooney going on there.
Yeah,
Lord
yeah. we
Silver
got
Fox
some, like,
Acorn.
Clooney vibes.
It's like but it's like a pompadour, like a perfectly made up pompadour instead of like the short Clooney cut or what have you.
It just always has like just that exactly right amount of stubble. Yeah, Lord Silver's yeah. Oh, Marindale. Oh, we still love you though. It's like that. What's that joke about like yeah, being 25 at like different, or being like 30 at different ages, and when you're a caveman, so death draws close. It was a good life. Once I ate a pear and thrice a berry.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
All
All
right.
right. Well, I think
Sorry.
this leads us into a good place to start calling out scenes. Is there anything that anyone specifically wants to see during the ball?
I mean, I would very much like to see Audubon's arrival and his greeting
Yes.
by his good friend Jean-Francois.
I
It's a
think
good place to start.
I think that that's really great because the very first thing I was thinking is as Rebecca was basically stranding her father, I think that that is a really great time for Audubon to make his entrance, and kind of like, I think at this point there it's almost kind of like this cinematic cut of where the father is just like getting his hawthorn cane out, and it's just, you just hear oh, Lord Silver, what a coincidence that you would be the first person that I see at the ball. And I think at some point Pomplamoose will make their inopportune entrance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's have this conversation roll for a little bit, and then
Then watch you Kool-Aid
count
Man
will-
into it.
Yeah, we'll 100%
Yes.
Kool-Aid Man into it at the worst possible opportunity. So like, really try to get us there, guys.
Mm-hmm. I think that
Holy shit. Wait, hold on. I forgot I have a fucking cape. I have a cape, y'all.
Oh no.
My dad is a pimp.
Yes. Your father has, yes, many O's and many area codes. Yes, I believe that's what the kids are saying these days. Herr Audubon. It is a pleasure to see you.
Likewise, the pleasure is all mine. I hope you don't mind. I actually took liberties with some of the locales of the galleries around town, and I have procured something of a bit of a portfolio. And you see attached Muppet style to the arm, as though basically because they have to affix the props while they're gripping them. You see a big sheaf of papers within like a small portfolio that are clearly all of the handbills from the local gallery. And just saying, well, I have this collection here. I was hoping we would get a chance to maybe go sightseeing, as it were, at some point. Do forgive my enthusiasm.
See, I believe that could be arranged most assuredly. I trust your travels were well.
Oh, absolutely. I just, as a one familiar with the familial wealth of the travel and transportation industry.
God damn it.
I assure you, travel is of no great import. Its discomforts are actually a bit of a close cry to home.
Yes, I must say the fucking roadways of fair England could stand to be improved. It is quite a dreary climate and prone to mud.
Mes amis, Herr Audubon, Monsieur le Lord Silver. I am so glad to see the both of you here talking together. And Jean-Francois is like popping up between the two of you, and like wrapping his, noodly arms around each of your necks.
There's a stick on either end of them.
Yeah, exactly.
The hat
It
is
is
still
so
out of
great
frame.
that you are here, and I am here to see you. And there's like a drink that's like attached to the one hand that's just flopping everywhere. I am so glad that you have both made it, Monsieur Autopon, Herr Autopon. Oh, you have traveled far, no?
Oh, yes, I was just discussing art and
Yes,
transportation.
that is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. And my Lord Silver, it is good to see you in such fine health. You are looking pretty good at the temples these days, you know? Anyway, I was hoping that perhaps you had brought your wonderful and charming daughter to this illustrious event as well.
If you're referring to young Rebecca, yes, I believe she is indeed in attendance at this social event.
Ah, yes, well, I'm incredibly fond to see her again, and I would very much like to introduce her to Herr Franz Ottoborn, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I'm afraid I don't quite understand your meaning, but I assure you, this event has many
I want to
interesting
introduce
people.
them so that they can know each other, eh?
And you do real. And I take it that your courtship with my daughter was no hard feelings then.
No, we are done with that. Listen, my Lord Silver, she is a beautiful lady, a refined lady, a wonderful lady, and a lady of intelligence and wit and class. But it was not meant to be.
No, it was not meant to be.
And I assume she remains as such today, but I am eager to introduce her to my good friend Autobahn here. You seem to have already met in some fashion. Do you know each other? Franz, you never mentioned that you knew Lord Silver. Have you two been writing little letters back and forth behind Jean-Francois's back?
Of course, we share a keen interest in art, and Strudelmeyer's inventions are so unique, and of course, it inspires correspondence.
Ah, well, that is even better then. You already have a basis for being familiar with each other. That is very exciting to me, Jean-Francois Lecomte.
You just see probably like the most amount of shock that a extremely controlled British member of the British peerage is willing to make, which is just like one like little eyebrow twitch at the getting familiar.
An eyebrow twitch and a blink.
Meanwhile, I think every time Audubon kind of turns away from Pamplemouse's vision, you just see where the puppeteer does the thing where they squinch the inside to kind of make the puppet look consternated.
Yes, we have a working relationship, one might say. We've worked
That
together
is
very
good.
well.
That is very good. Let us get that relationship working. Eh? We will get it rocking and rolling. All right. Where is Rebecca?
Rocking and rolling.
And,
does
like,
does rocking and rolling
Jean-Francois
mean
is just
anything
like
to you?
bouncing off across the room.
I think at which point I'm just kind of like being kind of noodled along here, just kind of haplessly follow.
I think in the interim, like between this scene and Pamplemouse's arrival over where Lady Rebecca is, I think Claire is kind of finishing a conversation with her by the tree. And one thing in particular that I think she'd like to ask, she kind of puts her hand on Lady Rebecca's paw, says, "My dear, tell me, I've heard this rumor about you and a duke, and that there was a proposal. You can't tell me that's
yes.
true."
It is true, but what can I say? I'm a woman who is guided by my heart, and unfortunately, my heart belongs to another. One I
But
shall hope
a
to see here
duke.
tonight.
A duke.
Darling, weren't you the one saying that, society and its positions are all quite foolish in the end? If I shall have my way, I shall elevate my dear to the position they deserve to be in, and Papa shall have no choice but to agree.
That is so very radical of you. I love it. I can't believe that. Was the Duke so very horrible? I've never had a proposal myself.
Oh no, my dear, the Duke was quite wonderful, but just had the terrible luck of not being the one I had fallen in love with. But should you like, I can make an introduction to him for you.
Wow, well, I don't know if I'm yet grown up enough for that, but
Oh, darling, what does that matter in this day and age? If you like, I should certainly love to be friends with the Duchess. Oh, that's such luck.
well, but you must tell me there's someone who has your heart. You have a great love yourself. I must know who it is.
Oh, darling, please don't say anything out loud, but with your help, perhaps, we shall be able to elevate them to the position that Papa shall be agreeable to. I shall point them out to you. Shall I see them tonight? You did invite them.
I would like at this moment, like Lady Rebecca's eye line to sort of drift across the room as Spritzer Mulaney Radigan enters.
Yes.
Is this something that I should be spending a token on?
I would say
Does this rise to that level, do we think?
it's if the camera kind of pans there also, I'll say yeah, like offer her a resolve token for that.
Okay, I would like to put a token on the table to essentially have
Well, there's
her
the Duke
eyes meet
token.
Spritzer Radigan.
That's
Yeah.
true. We could also spend the token from the rumor, which
rumor
has just been
token.
addressed. So would you like to accept
I
that,
kinda-
Lady
I
Rebecca
kinda
Silver?
like that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So you take that resolve token now and add it to your pool that you can now spend.
Oh, okay.
I
And
think
does
right
the
as-
camera pan to a rakish rat?
Yes. I
Yes,
think so.
a dashing rat and like in this very fucking holy shit. Look up officer dress uniforms from the Napoleonic era and the British, like holy fuck, like that, wearing that, like a nice version of that, and handing off. I think the camera pans there right as we see Spritzer just kind of like again wobbly Muppet hands holding a coat, which it's clearly being held all by a servant, but like the implication being that this large great coat just got handed off along with a hat to a servant, and kind of well. Looking around, scoping out the area, is Spritzer.
I
He
think
does
don't
make
do
eye
anything, I'm
contact
gonna
with Lady
introduce
Rebecca.
Countess.
Yeah, because she's
From
looking
across
at you.
the room.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to offer a resolve token for the events to happen in the following way, and I think I will be offering it to Spritzer. But I will offer a resolve token for Spritzer to make eye contact with Lady Rebecca and then start to come over to her and Clara, but get intercepted by Jean-Francois bringing over Air France Autobahn, such that you are in the scene listening and watching to what happens.
I'm definitely gonna be. I'm picturing like we'll get basically cut off, literally like via car, and then just kind of like from behind, just kind of be like you just see Spritzer popping out every so often, trying to like figure out how to get physically around.
And after that, while Spritzer is trying to get around, they shall run into a scoundrel that we all love to hate.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yes.
Love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Do you
That way
wish to
Spritzer
accept
can have a
this?
scene too.
So you see some wiggly whiskers and like that twitch a little bit more, and then you got this is gonna be fine. We got this. And pitter pattering across. We just see like pitter patter toddling across the across this grand hall towards Lady Rebecca, and then
in the middle, Jean-Francois with hair fronds in tow. Doot, 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 doot. Mon chéri, Rebecca, Lady Rebecca. It is so good.
Oh, Comte. And Rebecca takes a, appropriate little curtsy.
I did not expect to see you tonight, but I'm delighted that you're here, of course.
But of course, I would not miss one of these brilliant Christmas balls from Herr Strudelmeyer for the world.
Of course. Oh, and Herr Audubon. It's good to see you again, of course, as well.
Likewise, as always, Lady Silver.
Wait, you guys know each other as well. This is really good.
Yes, I introduced Herr Audubon to some folks here in Haberdasher Society while my father was out, but of course, Herr Audubon is a much better friend of Papa than of my own, but the company's quite delightful.
I could not be more happy that you two have already made an acquaintance. I, of course, became great friends with Herr Audubon here after finding him in the... Well, let's never mind about that. And I am so glad to see that he is moving amongst society and getting introduced to such fine and illustrious people as yourself, Lady Silver.
Do tell me if I'm hitting pitches that are inaudible. 'Cause I'm like, why am I so far up? But
Somewhere there's a dog just stopping right in the middle of the street outside my house.
But also, Chad, if you need me to tone her down, let me know. Yeah, apparently I can get up there.
Oh, but you should not be worried for Herr Audubon. From what I can tell, they are nothing but perfectly poised and well collected in all circumstances. In fact, the Society of Haberdasher is quite lucky to have Herr Audubon and, of course, yourself amongst them.
I could not be happier to hear this.
Have I introduced you to my cousin, Clara? You might know her. She's, of course, the relation of Herr Strudelmeyer.
Clara
Yes,
will
of
curtsy.
course, Miss Clara.
It is good to see you, Comte de
Jean-François
Launay.
Legrand. I suppose you remember me from the last time I was here. Your uncle and I are good friends.
Oh yes, Uncle talks of you often.
As they're talking, Rebecca's gently trying to peer around the heads of the men.
Yeah, I think just kind of like also kind of thinking that they're like playing a game. I think that yeah, Audubon is just like, am
I supposed to move here? Here?
You love that. That's so good.
And of course, Clara, you know my good friend Herr Audubon as well.
Well, yes, Herr Audubon, I'm so glad that you could come to our Christmas party.
It really is my...
He is becoming quite the toast of society in this little village, no?
Oh, yes, I've heard so many good things from Mama and Papa, and of course my uncle speaks very highly of you as well.
Oh, yes, Herr Strudelmeyer is really a dear friend. Little bit always had a way and knack of finding interesting sorts and finding the best in them.
Yes, and he is an interesting sort indeed. Would you not say, Lady Rebecca? Eh? Look at that chin. And Jean-Francois like grabs with his noodle arm Audubon's chin and just sort of.
And Rebecca blinks, eyes. Well, her giant eyes even wider.
Yes. What do you think, Clara?
Oh, well, I must say I don't know very much about men's chins, but I think you have a good one.
I assure you, Miss Clara, it is the best chin in Europe.
But perhaps we shouldn't bore Sir Herr Audubon with our company, Clara. I know, from what I can tell, him and Papa are quite great friends and can spend hours talking in the sitting room. Perhaps we might be able to
Oh,
find...
yes, but this is why you should get to know him better. A friend of your father should be a friend of yours, if you know what I'm saying. Eh?
Oh,
Eh?
yes, and I do think we're friends. Wouldn't you say, Herr Audubon?
Oh, definitely. I think we're definitely very fun.
Perhaps, Lecomte,
Wait.
loosen your grip on, poor Herr Audubon's chin.
I'm sorry, France.
It's okay.
Away.
It's all
You are
right.
such a striking specimen, I can hardly contain myself.
Lecomte, have you, by any means, met the Lady Downton?
I have not. I
Oh,
do not
she
believe
is
we have
over
been
there.
acquainted.
Mm.
Well, then I will leave you two to chat amongst yourselves, and I will go over there.
Please excuse me, Herr Audubon. I do think I see, not Papa, my friend calling from on that side.
And she just skitters away.
No, you've got to have a talk. Oh, where is she going? Failed. I
I really
Countess,
do hope Daddy like skids into there, being like, "Hello."
Oh God.
No, I'm coming to you, Spritzer.
Okay. Oh dear God.
The hat, no hat, which one? Yeah.
But wait, do you want me to come to you first?
As my,
I think
as
we're
Rebecca
getting
or the guy?
I think we're getting intercepted by Peterswald Malarkey.
Yes. I
It
feel
is
like
too hot in
that's a
Texas for
good
this
way
guy.
to do this. So by the time that conversation has completed, when Lady Rebecca looks for Spritzer, Spritzer is then engaged in conversation with Lord Clark.
Oh my God, that's yeah. So during all of this, you just kind of see Spritzer like first grab like there's like some cheese on like an hors d'oeuvre plate, and like it's just kind of like as he's trying to dodge around this like scrum of what's the no, I'm not looking for debutantes, these scrum of bourgeois
peers.
aristocrats.
Social.
The peerage.
The
Yeah.
peerage.
Yeah, I'm trying to get around them. It's like a game of football, you know. But the,
And, like-
the one those filthy Americans play. Good
You
proper.
see like
We're in
almost
prison.
Yeah.
screeching backwards, like almost like a moonwalk, but without lifting your feet in front of Spritzer. You see a tall human in a coat with almost as obnoxious as Spritzer's outfit, buttons. But it's a black coat. You see a human man looking or attempting to look deliberately mysterious. Oops. Sorry, I unplugged my headphones. Give me one.
We all love
I
a
got
little
too
bit of
excited.
meta in the Muppets.
All right.
Yeah, we like trying to do that moonwalking backwards, screeching slightly on the floor, and then getting yoinked as
Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
and the boom mic comes into the
a
shot.
boom like gets bonked on the head by a boom mic.
Okay. Spritzer, I thought I told you not to show your ugly mug at this beautiful ball tonight. Was my threat not adequate?
Well, look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still not entirely sure who you are, but like, I look.
What does it matter who I am, for I know who you are.
Because your threat implies that a certain amount of social standing and threats based upon that. So, in order for me to make an adequate judgment call,
He
what's
floats
that?
a
What's that?
giant ring with a
Okay,
signet on
ooh.
it.
Oh, that's very beautiful. Like
Nope.
no.
Do not touch me, swine! No, rat!
Yeah, that's a rodent to you. Thank you.
Yeah, we see like a pig muppet in the background.
I know that you are a mere pretender to this society.
and you
If
do not
you're-
belong amongst this esteemed company here, let alone the presence of Lady Rebecca Silver. I am a cartoon Muppet villain. Fuck off.
Oh my god, I can't. Okay, sorry. I normally I don't break, but holy shit, dude.
The swoop of the cape over your face. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's very rude to talk about those who have come back from the war. We saw many horrible things, and yeah, like I don't
War
know
is
what
for wars are meant to be fought by the poor.
I mean, yes, filthy poor people. They definitely deserve to.
Like holds up a paw and looks at something that's scribbled on the front of it. Like visibly audibly, like that's visibly on camera.
They are meant to be fought by the lower classes because they are dirty and undeserving of
Well,
life.
I'm glad we agree on something.
Yeah. This conversation is just great.
Back to my letter. Why are you here tonight?
Because I am deeply traumatized and unafraid of death.
Well, let's make it poetic. When the clock strikes midnight, and if you are still here among us, you shall be unmasked before them all.
And then he throws his cape around him and swoops away.
I need to find out whether it's wrong to shoot people.
I think.
Can I get a morality check?
Not
Morality
in a
check,
duel.
please.
I think that this is a good time as any to hear. I'd like to spend a resolve token for in this moment for suddenly everyone to hear the clinking of a glass as Herr Strudelmeyer stands in the middle of the room to get everybody's attention.
I don't think you need to spend a resolve token for that. I think you can just say it happens.
Okay. Yeah, and I think when you see Herr Strudelmeyer, you have very much that kind of standard rendition in the Nutcracker of a long-haired elderly gentleman creeping on death's door at 55, gray and silver mixed with some shock white, and of course having a large eye patch over one eye, tastefully done, very well kind of dressed. Hello, everybody. I am so grateful for all of you to have made it to my fine little ball, this fine soiree. It is my pleasure to host all of you this evening, and I have been so well encouraged by my niece Clara and the lovely Silvers who grace us with their presence tonight. Now, I understand that some of you have heard of my reputation as a bit of a tinker. And lo, I have spent many, many days assembling for you probably my finest work. Herr Bonson, Herr Beaker, and you literally see this giant package being wheeled out by Bunsen, Honeydew, and Beaker in full Regency dress, as they're clearly kind of dressed up in almost like servants' clothes.
Like a couple of fancy footmen.
Exactly, like a couple of fancy footmen.
Yeah.
And at which point, Bunsen says, kind of begins wheeling out this package, says, Beaker, if you would do the honors, could you go ahead and unveil that? And at which point, Beaker pulls off the drop cloth over this large construction, and suddenly, of course, being engulfed by the drop cloth, which weighs about a ton in 1840, and hits him. And underneath the drop cloth, you see this large grandfather clock in all of its finery, with a large owl gracing the top of it. Yes.
Applause.
I am
Yeah, very
imagining
nice, very
it is
nice,
a
very
Muppet
nice.
owl.
Yes.
It's carved, right?
Oh yeah.
But like it's the proportions of like it's like a wooden Muppet with the eyes and yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got like the big eyes that are like kind of like half.
Does it have googly eyes?
Yeah, it's got googly eyes, and you know the funny thing about it is every time like about a few seconds or like a half a minute goes by, the eyes blink as though it's actually a Muppet on the top. So yeah, but it's just yes, I've been spending so much time assembling all of the pieces at great personal expense just to commemorate my dear niece Clara and the Silvers, who have graced me with their patronage for so long.
Uncle, it is so beautiful.
I hope my inspiration serves as a great occasion to have all of you here. Thank you.
Completely stunning.
And I would.
It's always a marvel.
I wish
Astrotomile.
that I was of hale enough constitution to stay up to hear its chime at midnight, but as every day creeps me closer to death's door at the age of 55, I must bid you all a good night. Please continue to enjoy the festivities as they occur. And yeah, I think at which point Strudelmeyer just kind of begins to retire.
From the audience, you hear a to Air Strudelmeyer. Yeah, you know, after all, he is the host of our night.
Oh.
Indeed. And I think like people start to bring out the food at that point. So, you know, there's like the classic like Muppet fanfare of like Muppet shuffling, you know, a goose and a turkey platter onto the table and like having a large buffet in front of this towering Christmas tree and towering grandfather clock that has just been unveiled.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think it just kind of like the party begins to kind of whir almost in time to the clockwork as it ticks loudly.
And then, well, I guess if people are starting to head a little bit towards the food, Rebecca will see if Spritz is not occupied on the dance floor. Well, actually, no, she can't ask Spritz to dance. She's gonna stand there and look at Spritz.
I think it might be. I actually like this. Would you accept a resolve token to make it a dance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like a dance commences at
Like you're like about to
clock
talk to
introduction.
Spritzer, and then like a dance happens around you, and then you have to make a decision like, do you dance or not?
Ooh, love that.
Except
Oh,
with
well,
conditions.
I mean, it's yes, absolutely. But Spritzer, you are the
Spritzer's-
gentleman in this situation.
Spritzer, yeah. Oh, well, hey, hello, Lady Silva. As always, it's a pleasure to see you.
And then the music starts to swell and people like move onto the floor just like
People pair up in lines like right next to us, parallel.
Yeah,
and
like-
we're like
may I have this dance?
It would be my pleasure.
she places
Excellent.
her little paw in his little paw.
leads. Yeah, so it's just tiny
Aw,
little furry
Couple of
paws.
adorable rodents.
Just rodents. And so I think Spritzer like looking very dashing and not dancing especially well, but definitely taking the lead here, leading the dance, and then but a couple times accidentally like during one of these spinny moves, just kind of looking at Rebecca, stumbles and switches roles by accident, and so Rebecca finds herself leading.
Over there.
Oh, yeah. You just
Rebecca very graciously, what is it? I don't know what it's called, but whatever the equivalent of backseat driving, but like leads from the follow position.
yeah.
Backseat dancing?
Yeah, that
Backseat
thing.
dancing.
So
And,
she's leading as a
Backseat
follow.
Dancing.
This is quite the shindig, huh?
Oh, yes, and I was quite delighted my cousin saw fit to invite you tonight. I'm always very delighted to be in your presence, Mr. Radigan. If I may be so bold to say so.
yeah, so Spritzer's like whiskers are just twitching wildly at this point and like frazzling more and more from like this delicate, well coiffed whiskers to like more whiskers. And he just kind of winks like or just kind of blinks a little bit. You just see it like well, I gotta say, I'm glad to have been invited, Lady Silva. It's always a pleasure.
It would be more of a pleasure, to be honest, if there weren't such pressure on me from Papa to wed soon.
Yeah, that's gotta be really intense.
Yeah, an old, sweet but strange acquaintance of mine was trying just tonight to set me up with a friend, but my affections might be engaged somewhere else, I must say.
Oh, no, oh, that's gotta be very confusing. And
Indeed. But you know, after all, the only person who I need approval from is my dear Papa. He's a reasonable man, but I do think he would like to see his daughter wed to a man of station.
yeah, I think you just see the whiskers droop ever so slightly, and the ears droop just a little teensy bit.
Mr. Spritzer, have you heard of the rumor that has been circulating lately about a unknown child of a certain Lady Downton?
I have heard of this Lady Downton. I can't say I know her personally, but it very scandalous if that's true. That seems, like something, nobles don't do or something like that.
But a long-lost heir could be a very opportune option out of my current predicament, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it would be.
And you can literally see gears turning and clicking, like you hear the sound of gears, like the sound effect of gears at this point. And
Lady Rebecca is doing what ladies in her time must, which is scheme behind the scenes and make it seem like a man's idea.
dear God, oof,
that would be quite an upset, wouldn't it?
And it could really change that person's esteem in society and perhaps lead to wonderful matches as well.
Indeed. And because I have to describe, so the rat Muppets don't have a wide range. So this involves just a slight awkward shaking to imply kind of blushing. So you just see Spritzer's like whiskers quivering a little bit, and just like,
Indeed, that would.
And I feel like at that exact time, the music ends and Lady Silver curtsies and steps away.
Mr. Radigan?
Lady Silva.
And she goes back to find Clara.
I think while all this has happened, I think Franz kind of looked over at this scene happening. There's a mix of emotions, like once again consternated on his face and in his schnoz, and just you hear the, and then you see him just turning his attention to the grandfather clock and admiring the craftsmanship.
I think Clara probably approaches you at this point, and like walks up to her uncle. Uncle, this is such a beautiful clock. However, did you make something like this yourself?
Oh, with my hands and with very sundry pieces from around the country. I had to take many trips, but I tell you, there is one component that is missing. One thing that I realize now that it should have been a part of this evening, and it's a good thing you just reminded me. And as if from like materializing from someplace he had it stored that you couldn't have fit into any of these outfits or what have you, he
Hammer
produces.
space.
Oh yeah, exactly. He produces a very large, stately, uh, comically Muppetesque nutcracker that is actually green instead of pale skinned. And its teeth are not so much actual teeth, so much as they are just like the wide open maw of a frog. Yeah. And he says, "Oh, I think the best thing was this. I think I give this as a gift to you."
To me.
Yes, it's, do you know what this is?
No, is it some kind of a toy?
And he picks up a walnut from kind of a serving tray not too far off where the hors d'oeuvres are, and he says, "Oh no, watch!" And he takes the back of the nutcracker and cracks it with ease. He says, "It is what is called a nutcracker."
Nutcracker. Wow.
Yes.
I can't say I've ever seen one of those before.
Oh, I have seen a few, but this is the first of my devising. I must say, I've had quite a bit of inspiration, as it were.
Oh?
Oh, yes, I've been to many places, many strange places. I've seen such wondrous things, sugar plums and ginger mothers and creatures great and small. Oh, I'm old. I grow wearier. I apologize. I make less and less sense the later the night goes.
Do you mean back in Germany, Uncle?
Yes, that must be what I mean. Ah, the Black Forest, as it were. Oh, one of my favorite places to go. Always bring a
Something-
handful of chocolate coins to the Black Forest. You never know who might want something.
Oh, I'm too old to be fooled by your fairy tales now, Uncle.
Well, most the pity then. I think that as long as you are a little young at heart, regardless of what this society says, you will get out relatively unscathed.
Oh, that's... Thank you, Uncle. There's not many who would talk like that, you know. All the people here are so consumed with the idea of marrying and climbing the social ladder, and I worry sometimes, you know, that maybe that life's not for me.
Well then, what life is for you, my child?
I don't know. That's part of the great adventure, yeah?
Oh, a great adventure indeed.
And I think with that, Clara will reach out to take the nutcracker from Strudelmeyer. And the second that her hands touch this figure, and I think maybe if this is all right with you, Zach, if kind of Strudelmeyer looks at the camera knowingly and kind of winks, breaks the fourth wall as this happens. The second Clara's hands touch the nutcracker, everything goes dark. And it's one of those classic Muppet scenes where like you see the white eyes of the Muppets like blinking in the like pitch black darkness for a second as like everyone kind of looks around like what's happening. And then there's a sudden flash of bright, brilliant blue light just completely engulfs the entire scene. And suddenly, we're somewhere else. And with that, everyone, we are going on break as we move into this last half of our lovely one-shot, The Mupcracker. we are actually going to be employing some elements of a good society expansion, a mini expansion, as it were, about the Fae. So we have interpreted the move from the Nutcracker's ball into the Nutcracker verse that we are also familiar with from the ballet to correspond to an actual transition into a Fae realm, which Herr Strudelmeyer was alluding to his niece earlier before the break. As part and parcel of employing the Fae Court's mini expansion, we made some collaboration decisions about magic. Now that we are in a magic world, what does magic look like? So that was our first decision. So we decided that in the Fae realm, the use of magic is glowing, vibrant, echoing, and grand. So whenever anyone uses magic, there's a big boom. What does magic require? We decided that it requires songs, gestures, prayers, and offerings. So it's very evocative, effectively. Magic is big and it sings. Which of these two things are true of the Fae? Our courts reflect our attitudes and allegiances, not our birth, and we cannot tell direct lies. Which of these is a lie believed by humans about the Fae in their mythos and legends, but is not true? We decided that would be that their true names hold amazing power over them. And finally, what relations do the Fae keep with the human world? Humans rarely visit the Fae realm and vice versa and have limited influence. So we've decided that, much in keeping with the Nutcracker's own mythos, that this is really a myth and legend kind of thing. There isn't a Fae world and a human world relationship naturally. We decided that here, each court in the expansion, which is Splendors, Shadows, and what is the last one? Signs, which is my favorite. So of course I should forget that one. Will map actually to a court with its own political structure in the Nutcracker. So the land of sweets, the court of creatures great and small, the land of snowflakes, and the land of flowers. So each of those is a Fae court. And that we have Miss Piggy cast as the Sugar Plum Fairy, as Pooja alluded to, and we have Prime Minister Mother Ginger, played by Sam Eagle. So with all of that as background, we're going to very quickly, I guess, did anyone, before we jump into the Fae realm, to do reputation quickly, does anyone feel that they took a reputation tag based on their actions in the prior novel chapter? And that's all done on your character background or your character role sheets.
I mean, I think Rebecca lived up to the, what is this, a tremendous catch reputation. Well, that's the reputation, but like, I've kind of been playing it like she already has that reputation.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, we can go with that. I guess, did you act in service of what society thinks you should do, or did you kind of choose your own desires over what society would expect of you?
I think in the game, she's like, in the scenes we've had so far, she's, been polite and like not telling people to fuck off. I feel like that's doing what society wants you to do.
But nonetheless, I mean, if you feel like she hasn't made a major choice, like
I don't think
her
she's
own
made
desires,
a big
you can
choice.
kind of stay neutral and just say, I don't take a tag.
The only thing she has done is try to point Spritzer on his way to the Lady Downton, which goes with what I can tell the folks. Her desire is to bolster her love interest's reputation and then win her parents' permission to marry them. And so she did take actions in furtherance of that desire to bolster Spritzer's reputation and make him marriage material.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if you want to remain neutral, totally fine. Take a tag if you want, but you don't have to. Does anyone else feel like they took a tag, or is everyone kind of neutral?
I think I'm pretty neutral. I think I tried to act according to what society and Pomplamoose wanted, so I don't know if I got a negative tag or lived up to my ill-reputed reputation.
Yeah. Okay, so mine sort of depends on how we want to play like the conventions of society, because I don't know if I did anything to gain a positive tag. But depending on how we feel about society, I may have acted in contravention of society's conventions. I may have acted on desire in a way that compromised my duty or morality, and I very well may have acted in a way that would shame or embarrass my place of origin, but that depends on if we feel that Lecompte's silliness is out of place or merely accepted as normal amongst society.
We are playing a farce.
Yeah.
But also, like,
As
this
a
feels
Muppet.
like that whole statement felt like the beginning to "Hello, my name is Jean-Francois Lagrange, Comte de Pamplemousse, and I am a meddler."
Yeah.
I don't want to punish Lecomte for being a Muppet, which is what I feel like I would be doing.
Valid.
Although,
Okay,
I mean,
so-
worth noting, taking a negative tag is not a punishment. In fact, you can actually get some pretty decent stuff in terms of like what you want to do with your character by kind of driving them, and it's just what society perceives of that character. Although I guess, taking that point, I do think since it's the Muppets and it is a farce, that like what Jean-Francois is doing is probably what a lot of society would do in this circumstance, like try
Right,
to
it's not
push two
that
people
weird.
together.
Yeah.
Do we feel okay? Let me throw this one at you because I don't want to belabor this too long. Do we feel that acting on my desire, which is of course to marry my friend Audubon to the Lady Rebecca, did that compromise my duty to, let's say, Lord William?
Heir Audubon is ill-reputed.
Yeah, I kind of like that rating, actually.
And I am determined, like, listen, I think Audubon is great, but he's rough around the edges. He needs some refinement, but I'm still determined to push him onto, my former, I guess, have we established fiance? And because that's like, you can't date anybody.
Yeah.
You're courting.
either-
You're automatically courting.
Right. As well as into the family of my friend.
Yeah.
Lord
It's
William.
not sketch at all. You're like, well, you rebuffed me, but here's this not so reputable guy you should marry instead.
Right. Like, I'm
And you won't
convinced that this
regret it at all.
I'm convinced this is the right thing to do, but maybe it is not really what I should be doing. So
This
I'd like
did
to
not
take a
work
negative
out.
tag
Here
for
is
that.
my sketchy friend, Dan.
Mhm.
Has that
Okay,
stopped
I like
anybody?
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
great.
tell us what tag you're going to take then.
Okay, so I'm looking at the meddler list, am I not?
I think it's on your background.
You can
there.
also just come up with it. That will tell you whether you take a positive or negative, but you can come up with your own adjective if you want.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Is it,
I don't
like,
know, what do we
backhanded?
think? Or actually, I guess I'm looking at my background, right? For the tags. Options for the foreigner: uncouth, strange, prejudiced, misinformed, hostile. I already have strange.
Good.
Uncouth.
Maybe
maybe
being
a little-
uncouth.
Yeah.
I think you're just being conniving.
You could add an
A little
extra. Can you double
manipulative could
down on
be-
strange, bizarre, strange, and bizarre?
Yeah, I like
A little
manipulative.
like,
Manipulative, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the negative tag manipulative.
Okay, fab. And then Hopper, any for you?
I don't think so. Spritzer's played it very close to the chest. Spent a lot more time kind of spinning wheels and trying not to say anything at all. I don't think I've ever played a character that has said so much while saying so little.
Oh, but that is Chef's Kiss, Good Society in a nutshell. So well done. Perfect. Okay, reputation phase done. Let's jump into our second novel chapter. So I think we open right where we left off. This kind of puff of blue light has just, completely washed out the entire scene. And then suddenly we are somewhere else. Now, I think all of us who have come along are the player characters, but I think we had talked about potentially Lord Silver has been roped into this somehow and is present in the Fey world.
Yeah, I think I think that right as Audubon was looking at the clock, I imagine Lord Silver was like coming along to say something else or to kind of like rejoin, and then found themselves in front of the clock as soon as the lights dropped.
Yeah. And of course, Herr Strudelmeyer, having been able to walk between Fae and human worlds so readily in the past, is here as well. So I think really the only the connections that aren't coming along are, let's see, the other two. Which...
Well, Spritzer, do you want Malarkey there?
It's kind of funnier if he is, isn't that?
Do you want to bring him? I mean, we could just bring everyone if you guys are comfortable with that. You just have to juggle
I kind of
people.
like the idea that the entire ball is there.
Yeah.
Cool, the whole
Unless-
ball has come to the Fae realm.
You see a lot of
Like,
Muppets running
messes
around going like,
something
"Rah!"
Yeah.
Well, and there's
Suddenly there's
multiple
magic.
courts. They could just be in different courts at different times.
True.
So you never know who you're going to run into at which court.
Right. Okay. So let's jump right into it. I think suddenly you have a lot of people who are very confused and are uncertain as to where they are, but suddenly there's magic stuff happening all around them. And suddenly this nutcracker, which was in Clara's hand, is now no longer in Clara's hand and instead stands before her, fully her height, if not taller. Kermit the Nutcracker.
Kermit T. Nutcracker here. Sorry.
What? Who are you?
Are you Princess Clara?
Princess? I'm not even a lady. No, I'm just Clara. Clara, you can call me Clara.
Oh, come on, give yourself a little bit more credit. Okay, Clara, just Clara.
Just Clara.
Just Clara, pleasure to meet you. I am Kermit T. Nutcracker. And I think just methodically kind of holds out his hand.
I like that it's kind of robotic, like the way that a wooden, like, please shake my wooden hand. She takes your hand and sort of looks quizzically at you. Where are we? What happened?
Oh, well, and I think that I might offer a resolve token to have this moment interrupted by a siege of rats.
Ooh, I like it. I will take it.
Yeah, I think as we are as he is about to offer any kind of bizarre explanation for events transpired, we hear the booming voice of Rizzo the Rat King.
There they are, boys!
And we see sort of come at let's set the scene. I'm imagining that we have moved to this like gorgeous moonlit snow covered like hillside, and the Christmas tree that we saw in the hall is now even bigger, magnified 2 or 3 times, but it is now covered in snow, as well as all of the ornaments that we saw in the hallway, but they're all huge, massive constructions now. And coming up over cresting the hill are all of these little rat muppets, and we hear the charge, and they come swarming down over the hill, and Kermit the Nutcracker, you must draw your blade quickly to meet the rapier of Rizzo, the Rat King.
Yeah, and clearly once again the sword is affixed to the Muppet hand, and I believe you guys just begin on guarding and dueling, but at the same time it's very clear that somebody's just waving the stick around.
Yep. And there's a lot of like there's just a lot of like voice work as the stick is waving. Ha ha ha.
Hold still.
No, you hold still. Yeah.
I
think at this point, Spritzer has placed himself in front of between Lady Silver and the oncoming horde, though has a decidedly surprised and irked expression upon his face.
Yeah, I would like to offer Spritzer a resolve token well, actually, no, I think I will offer this token to the Rat King for the Rat King to notice Spritzer.
Yes, 100%. I will take that token. Let me mark that off. So the Rat King is engaged in this duel with Kermit the Nutcracker, and turns to you, Spritzer.
Hey, you there! Yeah, I'm talking to you!
Yeah, what? What do you want?
Get in the fight! What are you doing standing on the sidelines over there? We need you!
You're not the boss of me, Rizzo.
I sure am
Dude.
the boss of you!
No, you're not.
It's Rizzo the Rat King!
You're not the boss of me. That's not how this works. Just wait, you think because I'm a rat? What is this?
Yeah, you're a rat! I'm the Rat King! So, go fight those guys!
Yeah, well, how do you...
This is really stereotypical, just so you know, if you go ahead and do that. It just... What was that?
No.
I appeal to your rat's sense of patriotic duty. You gotta help your countrymen.
Spencer,
I am
what
definitely...
is happening here?
I am a loyal subject of the British Empire and the Queen. Clearly, I don't know what this fine upstanding rodent is talking about.
No,
Do you
you're
not hear
misinformed.
his wonderful British accent?
Yeah, don't you hear my wonderful British accent?
Yes, we're all talking in wonderful British accents, but there's no time for that now.
Mine's is particularly distinguished.
I am the representative of the Court of Creatures Great and Small. And you
No,
are a
you're
creature,
not.
and you are great, and also small.
I mean, you're right. Yes, I mean, yes, and yes, but also, you don't get to tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me.
All right, listen. Ting, 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 ting. I don't know why I have to explain this to you. You're a rat. You should know all this stuff already. But, of course, the Court of Creatures Great and Small is a collectivist organization which, on a regular rotating basis,
Oh,
appoints
here we go
by
again.
duly electoral vote a king. That is me right now. And once my term is up, any other rat like yourself, ching, 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 will be eligible for to stand for the kingship. This is not complicated stuff. We all know this. If I'm telling you what to do today, you're going to be telling me what to do tomorrow because that's only fair.
I'm
And
just
you
getting a
see
headache just from
see
this.
some rats off to the side. You see some rats off to the side cheering.
Yeah.
But why
So-
are you fighting?
So I think
What is the Court of Creatures Great and Small?
And what court are you from?
Oh, I'm from I am a vassal of the Sugar Plum Fairy. We
You're
are.
the imperialist invader is what he is.
Are you perhaps the cavalier?
Yeah, you could say that. I think it's a very nice word for what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought you were a prince.
Well, it's complicated. We're a bit of more of a republic, but we're really through a transition back into a monarchy. But also, the title's really more nominal than anything. Ting, 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 ting.
Clara, what can we do here?
I'm trying to figure out where we are. I think Clara will look around for
A
her uncle.
collectivist representative monarchy is clearly a superior system. Ha ha ha.
But only the will of the republic is most representative. Ding, 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 ding.
both of you have a terrible system of government. Clearly, strange pigs lying in bodies of water distributing swords is the only reasonable way to approach these things. And you know what? That's it. I'm done. You don't get to tell me what to do. On guard.
And Spritzer pulls a side sword from like that has mysteriously appeared in this magical world upon his hip, and springs forward, and you just hear a comically loud ping as several buttons pop off this dress coat, which is not designed for fighting, and like kind of lunges forward, and like I think along with Kermit, the Kermit cracker, like kind of catches the blade of Rizzo the rat.
Well, this was
And-
unexpected.
Rizzo, the hilts lock together, and Rizzo the Rat King looks into your eyes with recognition for the first time. Isabella?
No. I am Spritzer.
And as we say this, the overlay changes.
Damn.
As
Shit. What the fuck,
As-
Rizzo?
does the
Isabella?
music. Oh.
Isabella, what are you doing here?
There's a perfectly reasonable explanation for all of this.
Okay, well, there better be, because we're crossing swords right now, and if I'm gonna be honest, that's freaking me out.
Look, I'm gonna go now, and none of you saw me at all. And Isabella the rat is going to withdraw her sword and just kind of like sidestep and just hope and like just kind of very doing the
Hey, Isabella, get back here. Get back here.
No.
Why'd you break up with me?
Stop. Because you're a fucking idiot, Rizzo. Because you're an idiot. You there was a sign. There was one thing
I'm
that
the
said.
rat. Hey, if I'm the idiot, why am I the Rat King, huh?
And he points to his little rat crown.
Because look, there was a sign that said rat poison, and there was a sign that said cheese, and you ate the rat poison. Do you not remember that? Do you not remember that? Yeah, you're an idiot, Rizzo.
It was the tastiest rat poison I've ever had.
And I think so. I think at this point, like there's that little squeaky squawk is in a little bit higher pitch than Spritzer's normal ratty baritone. Oh no, I put a lot of work into this, Rizzo. Like you didn't have to go and fuck it up like that.
Okay,
Come on, dude.
this is really a terrible time for you to be showing up like this. I'm still in a sword fight.
This is a terrible time for you to be showing up like this. Whatever, fight the frog. Do your thing.
No, you showed up first.
No, you showed up first. I was in a party, and then you showed up at my party.
That's ridiculous.
And I would like to spend a token to have the Rat King sort of deliberately, but sort of inadvertently wound the Nutcracker.
Ooh, I like
Ooh.
it. I think this would be yours to take, Zach, if you want to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that. And then, how do you wound the Nutcracker? Oh, you know what it is? Is I think you probably it coincides with the breaking of the Nutcracker.
The kid throws it face
in the
Yeah.
play. Yeah, at which point,
Right.
yeah,
It's whatever. I don't know. I don't recall what part of the Nutcracker is supposed to break.
I thought it was
but-
an arm.
I think it was well in the one I just saw today. It was the jaw
the jaw.
because the uncle fixed it overnight. He put it in and like stuck something down the throat and fixed it.
Yeah, so Rizzo kind of like lashes out with a little too much strength, and with the hilt of his sword hits Kermit the Nutcracker on the jaw, and we hear like a crunch of wood, and Rizzo drops the sword and goes, "Well."
yeah, it's like I think also you kind of hear Kermit just kind of like fly back, like, "Ah!" and then like kind of like impact whatever is like convenient background and go, "Oh," crack. So, yeah.
Can I spend a resolve token to have Peterswald Malarkey do some bullshit as this whole scene is spotlighted. We now see a disarmed Rat King a spritzer kind of standing there, a sword, or no, the spritzer who has been revealed to not in fact be Spritzer, but in fact Isabella, the imposter. And Kermit, the Nutcracker, has been launched out of the picture. I want to know what Sir Peter's World Malarkey, what that dick's doing.
As the Rat King goes, you see, like, right into the middle of this bank of snow, a figure comes skidding to a halt. Imposter! I knew you were an imposter, but you are a woman as well. Ha! Looks like I had to make no reveal, for your truths have outed themselves. And on that note, I think my job is done. Now where the bleeding hell are we? But
Oh my God, look over there! And like Isabella points, and hopefully everybody looks, and then immediately kind of like tries to hide.
I think there's
dives
like,
into a snowbank.
if Isabella,
I think there's like 30 characters on screen, and they all look.
so when Isabella turns around to dive, what Isabella will see is Rebecca looking at her, hands over her mouth, and she just says, Isabella? And then she just turns around and books it.
As she, sorry, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
That's it. She just books it into.
Go ahead, Zach.
I think we need to do what Nerdy Revelries is saying. We need some monologue tokens up in here.
Yes, I've been waiting for someone to spend their monologue token.
I think. Yeah. I was gonna say I think we need one for Isabella and one for Lady Silver.
Yes,
100%.
100%.
Oh,
I love this group monologue tokening. Like,
yeah, you're monologuing now, bitch.
We all agree these are the monologues that should be had. Now, who will spend the tokens?
I will spend one of mine.
Yeah, and I'll spend one of mine.
Oh, okay. Well, Rebecca's monologue is going to be to Clara. Who is Isabella's monologue going to be to?
Isabella's monologue is going to be, can I monologue in a letter?
I mean, there's nothing that says you can't. Hey, we're hacking Good Society a little, so if you want a monologue as a letter, you can. But the thing is, with a monologue, we need to hear your interior thoughts.
Okay. I would love to monologue as like, well, I would love to go after Rebecca's, and I would love this to be an internal monologue, but as Isabella has just watched Rebecca run away, and as she is diving headfirst into a snowbank, as in slow motion, I would like to monologue.
So Rebecca, I guess that's you up first.
Where is Clara?
I mean, I think Clara was standing fairly close to the Nutcracker, but was also kind of like looking around for her uncle. Like, what the heck is going on? Where am I?
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I think it might make sense for Isabella to go first, since you're driving, because I'm leaving the scene, and I think my monologue will be while she's trying to find her way into whatever's next.
So after yelling, "Everybody, look over there!"
Yes.
Isabella just kind of turns, catches Lady Rebecca's eyes for a fleeting moment, and then just immediately turns and just launches herself into air in traditional Muppet style, slowly turning, spiraling towards a snowbank. Well, you're probably wondering how I got here. It's a funny story, really, but look. I don't exactly come from any of these fancy folks' wealth, but sometimes I grew up in the Big Apple in some of you know it as New York City, and look, we just scrabble and scam, and occasionally steal wholeheartedly to survive. And I happened to be in France, and there happened to be a very dashing young rat who was dying from being shot with six cannonballs, 6 whole cannonballs, and it was
was just like, well, you kind of look like me. And I kind of pumped him for information and, made his last dying breaths very, very pleasant, just really, just took care of him while I was dying because nobody else was. And they wanted to amputate his head, which still not clear on how that worked. But, and, I just came here to grift as much as possible. But now there's feelings involved, and I don't know what to do about that. And you see a single tear glistening in this Muppet eye that is spiraling towards the snowbank. And this is the one thing I never wanted to happen. Mom always said you can't get soft. Soft cheese gets the hammer. And I'm sorry, Ma. I got soft. I caught the feels. And that just impacts into the snow, does not go super deep. It's like prop snow. So it's just like very much like half in, half out of this snowbank. Just kind of like tail flailing and feet kicking. There you go. You wanted a Muppet monologue. You got a Muppet monologue.
Oh, soft cheese.
Soft cheese.
Soft cheese gets the hammer. Oh my god.
I know. Oof. All right, Rebecca.
And then the camera pans deeper into the woods as you see Rebecca running blindly, Muppet arms flailing, fluffy tail swooshing around as she like bounces on one tree and then another, and then just holds onto it and sobs.
Clara, are you here? Clara, help! I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know, is Clara even in the forest?
I like it better, I think, if she's not. But like you're speaking to her as though she is.
Okay.
Oh, Clara, I don't know what to do. I thought I was already being a bad heiress, loving spritzer like I do, uncouth though, and of non-noble birth though he may be, and now to find out that he's a woman, but even worse, a Yankee. Oh, Clara, however shall my father accept this? What does it mean that I love a man who is a woman, who is an American? What does that say about me? Will I be able to overcome this? All I wanted was to marry for love. But I didn't know it would be this hard. Oh, it would be easier to marry Herr Audubon, or heck, even Comte de Pamplemousse. But Clara, my heart, it wants Isabella. Oh, perhaps in this land of magic, anything will come true.
Beautiful.
Oh my god, that's great.
I love it.
I think maybe as all of this is happening, all of the lovely, gorgeous interpersonal drama, everyone notices that Herr Strudelmeyer is missing.
Hey, wait a second. Everybody is here from the thing, but where is our host? Where is Studemeyer? Autobahn, do you see him anywhere?
Sorry, I was a little distracted.
And you kind of see that the puppet hand of Audubon is dangerously close to touching the outstretched human hand of Lord Silver, who's also kind of similarly standing agog, looking around.
I don't know where we could find him, or do we have to send out a searching party? How did that look?
And yeah, I think
I
that
don't know. I am just worried about him. And Lord Silvier, your daughter has run off somewhere, and Autobahn, that is no good. For the whole thing, you have to, you got to have to hang out. Okay.
And at which point, kind of like a brainwave hits the Muppet face of Audubon, just says,
Lord Silver, Strudelmeyer is a friend of ours. Perhaps you and we could lead the searching party with Comte de Pamplemousse.
Excellent idea. As always, Herr France, you have the most astute observations.
Okay, yes, this is a good idea, and I am very much in favor of it. Let us find Lady Rebecca and then Herr Strudelmeyer, but also Lady Rebecca, and, we can kind of get her together with our party that we are making. Just get everybody. Okay.
But I want to find Uncle too. Can't I help?
Oh, yes, wait, Clara, you can also come.
Yay.
Yeah, just like I think Audubon looks back to the whole rest of the ball. I think at this point, because the scenery has melted in, we also kind of notice that like things that were not Muppet are distinctly now Muppet. Like I think some of the hors d'oeuvres on the tray are actually Muppets.
Yeah, they've got little eyes.
Yeah, just like be careful, don't take more than a little bit off the top. That type of thing. And yeah, I think at which point Audubon looks back and says, all of you stay as close and here for as long as possible. We'll be back. Stay. And and is going to I think at that point kind of tug on the hem of or the sleeve of Lord Silver's coat to try and drag him along.
Yes, I think you see Lord Silver almost grab his hand, but instead reach and pass his cane to that hand in order to keep it distracted.
And I think the two of you start walking over towards Rizzo the Rat King and Kermit the Nutcracker, who seem to be, both of them I think seem vaguely in charge here and might know the whereabouts of people. And like Kermit is like lying in the snow and Rizzo's like next to him like,
Sorry, Kermit. Listen, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. It was like, I got to put on a show and everybody was coming in and they would like.
You, little rat man.
Oh,
What have you done with Herr Strudelmeyer?
Hey, listen, pal. I don't know anything about no Herr Strudelmeyer. I'm just trying to, mend things with. I hit my friend a little too hard here.
Where I am from,
know
a
we were doing a whole
monarch
attack
knows
thing, but it's,
what.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Oh yeah,
Are you
yeah.
done? Are you done
I'm
making
listening.
excuses?
I'm listening real good.
Where I am from, a monarch does not make excuses, nor do they permit things to go unnoticed in their own land. Where? Yes, France.
No, this is sorry with the broken jaw. It's
This is Kermit.
Yeah, Kermit pipes up. It's like, I think he's talking about Dolphus. The advisor to Queen the Sugar Crumb Fairy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dolphus, okay. Why didn't you say so in the first place? Ha, that's a good break. Okay, listen, take Kermit here and bring him to the Sugar Plum Kingdom, and Dolphus will probably be there. He can fix him right up, and no harm, no foul for everybody. You find the guy you're looking for, Kermit gets fixed up, and we're all good, huh? And, long live the Rat King.
But aren't you fighting the Nutcracker? Why are you guys talking? I've only been here for 5 minutes, and you guys are clearly enemies. Why are you helping us?
I just feel really bad about the whole thing.
You are aware how
I got overwhelmed.
It's really a matter of ceremony. Yeah. And tradition.
I guess the sun never sets on the stupidity of this kingdom, then, does it? Very well. To the... I'm sorry, you said Sugar Plum Fairy. Is that correct?
Land of Sweets?
Land
Yeah.
of Sweets.
You want to see the Sugar Plum Fairy in the Land of Sweets?
Excellent. You are a raving invalid.
Does anybody have better directions? You points at Kermit. Where is Herr Strutelmeyer?
Oh, you get to the land of the sweets, you have to go through the dancing pastries, followed by a stop at Mother Ginger's. Really, honestly, it's about a half-mile walk.
Clara,
Oh, and
am I experiencing mercury vapors or delusions of some kind?
I honestly don't know. Maybe there was something in the punch?
Either that or we've all been hit on the head very hard.
Seems unlikely for a group of this size. It's
Ah,
like
yes,
the whole
mes
ball
amis.
that's here.
Perhaps we have all been drugged. This is the best Christmas ball ever.
Jean-Francois, why don't you lead the way since you're so keen to be here?
Well, Lord Silver, I feel like it's kind of like a dream, right? Like, you know when you wake up that a dream is illogical, but while you're in the dream, you have to follow the logic. Maybe that's how it works here?
That's awful. I hate it. Moving on.
yeah, at which point, I think that Air Audubon kind of re-enters just to say, so I was just asking a pile of, pardon me.
So I was just asking a pile of grapes over there, where we should go to get to the land of sweets. And apparently we're supposed to also go through the gumdrop forest. So I think over there, and there's a copse of trees that are clearly made out of gumdrops.
Well,
Excellent.
how do you like your gumdrops, Lord Silver?
Elsewhere.
Lucky for you, it appears that we are elsewhere. So, lead on.
Onwards. Franz, come along.
And yeah, of course, just kind of like trying to hide his eagerness, Franz hops along, following.
All right. See y'all later. Thanks for, invading the kingdom. If you come back, we'll, poke you with swords or something.
Oh, they seem nice.
Lovely. I would like to suggest offering a monologue token for both Isabella and Rebecca to, as they're stumbling through like the forest, which, well, I guess we can say is the gumdrop forest at this point, trying to deal with their own issues, that they, by happenstance, stumble into one another.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What do we think?
Okay.
Hold on. Word
What
of
kind of
change.
role players are we?
The ones who are scared to do 8 characters.
But also say yes and.
Yes, and.
Yes, and
Yeah. Well, I gotta say that sounds like a great idea. All right,
Okay.
hit me
All
with it. Come on, hit me right here, right here.
Resolve token.
As I don't know what Isabella is doing. Rebecca is still kind of blindly flinging herself around gumdrop trees and probably bodily backs into Isabella.
Oh, apologies.
Oh,
It's you.
Lady Rebecca, my apologies. I did not mean to stumble into you there. Just kind of hastily, Isabella's trying to like get these buttons, like close this jacket that is not gonna be closed again because there's missing buttons, and just I hope that this we can get out of here soon and figure out what's going on.
You tell me. Last I checked, you were not even at Mr. Radigan. But Isabella?
So I may have little white lie.
Not so little.
Just a tiny bit of identity theft. Just a little bit. I never meant to deceive you, Lady Silver.
But why? Why pretend at all?
morally questionable reasons. Some of us are not so well off as the aristocrats of the British Empire.
But I know that, and I've been trying to help.
I engage in a little bit more of a direct action approach, if you can appreciate my drift. Sometimes the cheese doesn't crumble fast enough, and some of us are hungry down here.
Well, direct action is all well and good when you're a man, but women, I guess, such as ourselves, well, indirect action is how we get things done.
Indeed.
So tell me, Isabella, what do you want?
You just see Muppet eyes widen.
That's a very long and complicated question. I would like to apologize for I did not mean to lead you on in any way, Miss Rebecca.
Lead
My
me
mother-
on. So, were your intentions for me not as they seemed?
I never had intentions for you, Miss Rebecca. It simply happened, and then I ended up feeling things that I did not intend to feel.
Well, sounds like you didn't lead me on at all. If you
Well-
feel for me what you say you do, and what I believe you do, then we are in agreement.
She holds her hand out to Isabella.
We're in agreement?
Yes, we are in a land of dreams, Isabella. Come with
Well,
me, and let's go get ours.
Can I offer Isabella a token to take Lady Rebecca's hand here?
You don't have to do that.
That, by the way, is
Oh my god, she totally spits on her hand first, though.
Deal.
that is a hallmark of a successful Good Society game when players are like, I don't need that resolve token. I was just gonna do it anyway.
Boom.
Oh no, I did it again!
Did you pull your...
all this dramatic intrigue.
Yeah, I
Okay.
just did that. But when you spit in your head, Rebecca does look at it and say,
Perhaps one day I shall be used to the fact that you're an American.
It is one of my one of my worst qualities, I will say that. We don't have very good cheese. It's a real big shortcoming.
Well, lucky for you, we're in a land of magic food.
Yeah. You want to try this buffet out?
Let's do it.
Isabella grabs her hand and we see them.
the little Muppets go running off!
Yeah, I want to see a scene of like the two of you like bounding hand in hand through the snow and like grabbing gumdrops off
Yes.
the trees as you go.
It's,
I have a
Sparkle
beautiful
beautifully
image
in the
of like Lady
moonlight.
Rebecca just grabbing gumdrops and like stuffing them in her cheeks, and her like squirrel cheeks puff up. Beautiful.
oh my god.
I think with that we cut over to the questing group.
And
If we feel that
Alright, my
scene is
friends,
good.
I believe we are hot on the trail of Herr Stuhlmeier.
We're definitely on the trail of something. It just seems to get stranger and stranger through here.
and
Well, we have the gumdrops on the trees, and this is a gumdrop forest, clearly. So we keep going through here, and hey, who are those guys?
And
Ooh.
yeah, go ahead.
this is where we see the dancing pastry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all dancing, they're all singing. The question is, are they doing it perfectly, or are we interrupting them in the middle of choreography?
I like
definitely
The idea, I like the idea that like the band sort of emerges out of the edge of the gumdrop forest into sort of a clearing, and they and the various pastries just start dancing out around us.
Yes. And at this moment, I would like to offer Herr Franz Audubon a monologue token to hear what is in his mind in this magical land. And he's so close to his love.
I think overcome with the spectacle of a dancing eclair holding hands with a croissant and several biscuits kind of like towing the back line the entire time. I think that Air Franz Audubon is going to look back at Lord Silver, whose face is an impassive mask as always. Such a world we're in. Pardon me.
Such a world we're in. A strange world, a one of wonder, of dancing pastries, talking hors d'oeuvres, frog princes. Oh, and yet things seem so much more free and dreamlike here. It seems like they stand on ceremony and tradition, but they know that it's just that. Just ceremony, just tradition. A lot of air lacking substance. These rules in society say that these same traditions in our world say I can't have what I want.
And once again, looking at a completely inscrutable face of Lord Silver.
But wouldn't it be nice if, just like the magic of this place, that was really what was the most true?
And yeah, I think at that point, and then kind of like reaches, like Franz reaches out and then kind of like draws back as another internal thought.
But what will he do if he finds out about my escape from justice? All those speeding tickets. Horse-drawn carriages. Who would have thought they could go so fast? Nevertheless, Herr Franz Audubon wants what he needs and will speed through any road to get there.
And is going to trepidatiously reach out his hand to take Lord Silver's. And the question then is for Lord Silver, what happens?
Lord Silver accepts the hand but pretends like nothing is happening. Just completely impassive, just holding hands.
Love it. And
Pastries.
The pastries are definitely like the puppets that are like on sticks, and it's like a little pastry with a mouth and eyes, and they're just like, you know, like an eclair.
I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
Oh my god. Yeah, so yeah, I think like you probably see like there again, you see that just one long slow kind of vaguely one long slow blink and just a happy crinkle in one eye is the amount of emotion that is permitted by Lord Silva.
And taking a look at that, Herr Franz Audubon understands that is enough.
And I think your hands snap apart as Jean-Francois comes back up to you.
All right, I've talked to the pastries. They have told me the way over to the land of sweets, and it is just over that ridge, so we are on the right track. Has anyone seen Lady Rebecca? There were some other people. Oh boy. Okay. Don't worry, we're going to find her. We're going to find her, Franz. Eh? And, Lo Silver, she's your daughter. I guess you care about her too. Okay, we're going.
Historically speaking, that is in fact the way it works. Comps.
Onward.
Yes, Clara.
And I think like Clara is like
Onward.
pirouetting, just like as a nod, like a meta nod to the ballet, like through the gumdrop forest.
Oh my god. Very well. Onward to the court of sweets. This is
So
fine. Everything
I'd
is
like
fine.
I'd like us to see we get a view of our motley group coming up over the ridge of the next hill and looking down into I guess the palace of the land of sweets. What do we think this looks like?
Oh, it's like
Gingerbread.
it's gingerbread. It's kind of like what the White Palace in Moscow meets gingerbread. I feel like.
Sure.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh my god, is it just oh okay, you know what? No, I'm just
Well, remember we have Prime Minister Mother Ginger Sam Eagle, who is also present in the land of sweets.
I think that's who greets the group, right? As we approach the Palace of Sweets.
oh, fuck.
Yep.
Who's,
I think
Who can do a good Sam Eagle?
I can certainly try. No. Let's see.
I can certainly nope.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Greetings and welcome everybody to the land of sweets. It is the American way for all of us to enjoy a good bit of sugar. It is the sweet way to enjoy a little bit of sugar every day.
Good job, sir.
Thank you. And it is
like a
my
dumb drop.
it is my understanding that you are friends with Dolphus.
Ah, oui, man. He is our good friend, and he has gone missing, and he is the only one who can repair the Nutcracker.
Missing? I
Also,
do
we
not-
miss him because he is our friend.
Missing? He is through the throne room here. He is with our esteemed ladyship, the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Ah, okay, well, then it appears this whole thing is solved, and we will go inside and talk to Herr Studermeier. That is how we know him in our world, which is different from this one. Don't worry about it if you don't know already. It is not a big deal.
This sounds very reasonable.
Oh, we also found the Nutcracker. He was my toy, and then suddenly he isn't anymore, and he's this. And she kind of like pulls Kermit forward. He's this, and his jaw needs to be fixed.
Oh.
And also, this guy dated the Rat King. But this guy is apparently not a guy.
Oh, wait, is Isabella with you? Isabella's not with you.
Oh, wait. What happened to... where did that other guy get to? I am really in the weeds with this one. Okay, we gotta go inside.
And I think as they're moving in, I think it cuts to a balcony of the Gingerbread Palace, and there is Statler and Waldorf narrating the events as they transpire.
Well, were you paying attention? No, I thought you were paying attention. No, I've been sleeping the whole time. I thought you were paying. No. Well, 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10? That's very generous.
I thought so. I could say so. I thought I was being quite nice. They get a little bit of a break because we weren't fully paying attention. But absolute trash, bad accents. No, and the choreography was just off.
Clara leans over to the Comte and goes, do you know which side we're on? Are we with we're not with the Rat King, right? We're with the man made out of wood, the frog thing, right? Do we have a side? Is this political? I get the sense that this is political.
I cannot make heads or tails of it. People are fighting and then they are not fighting. And honestly, I just came out to drink punch and arrange some marriages.
Oh.
I think
Okay.
I think it's best to think of it as a dream and nothing more and nothing less. Hard to say.
As that is very well put, Autobahn. But nonetheless, even if this is a dream, we must find our friend.
That sounds good. That's dramatic. We want this to be dramatic, I think. That's how dreams work, right? You want like a climactic moment and then you wake up?
I
The
once
camera-
had a dream that I was a chicken. Note, once again, Jean-Francois is a large bird.
The camera pans back up to Waldorf and Statler. I don't know who
I don't know who wrote this, but there's something. Wasn't there something about a Lady Downton Abbey that they just like put out there and discarded? Is it the world's most obvious Chekhov's gun, or did they just do a shit job at directing this play? What is this? I don't know.
It wouldn't
But,
be.
I guess we're gonna find out.
It wouldn't be too outside of typical Regency dramas, would it? Sorry, I love Statler and Waldorf.
They're so good. Also, it's really hard to jump from one to the other. That's not
Welcome
easy.
to good society.
I would like to. I would like to jump into the palace and the introduction of the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Let's do it.
So, as you come to the center, I don't know, like the throne room of the palace, you see the Sugar Plum Fairy. She is wearing a beautiful white lace and like what could or could not be sugar crystal infused isn't the right word, embroidered beautiful tutu and corset, and she just looks lovely with her long hair and her beautiful pink skin. For yes, you are indeed looking at a porcine Muppet, a familiar sight to Muppet fans everywhere. And as you come in, she goes, "Hello and welcome to the Sugar Plum Fairy's court. What's that you have there? Is it my curd cracker?" And she like hobbles over. What has happened?
Yeah, I think she just practically mauls him with like how much she like embraces him. If the show's anything to go off of.
Yes. Oh! Oh no! Oh no! What can we do?
And I think from behind her, you just hear Herr Strudelmeyer's voice, who seems much more sprightly and kind of young in this world, just be like, "Oh, is that all that this needs to be repaired? It's a simple job. It's just the lever here." And you just, I think before anybody can move to stop him, you just see this young-ish, like reinvigorated Strudelmeyer make his way to the downed Kermit and then just kind of hoist him up, and then it's like relocating a dislocated joint. And you just hear, I think you watch as like Kermit's face just scrunches and then goes incredibly wide as the lever that works the jaw actually snaps back into place.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
Uncle, you fixed him.
Oh yes, it was very. It's hard to jump back and forth, guys. It was a very simple task. Oh yes, just a little bit of minor mechanics. Nothing could not be solved with a little bit of help or grace. And some chocolate gold coins, which I must get from the Krampus soon.
Oh, Dolphus, you're my hero.
I try to serve as best I can, Your Highness. Is all we can hope for.
Of course. But now, everybody's here and, well, please take your seats for the pas de deux.
And I think, yeah.
Oh, Kermit and the Sugar Plum Fairy are gonna dance now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And
He's her cavalier.
that is true. Okay. I think that at this point, Kermit is just like, oh, I'm not really feeling up for it, Miss Piggy. And then suddenly she just kind of hoists him onto the floor.
And as the rest of the group goes to sit down, I think they will find Lady Rebecca and Isabella already seated with a pile of sweets in front of them, very reminiscent of the Nutcracker where Clara and Prince sit.
Mm-hmm.
And they just wave. Oh, hello. Make Hopper take off their hat over and over again.
Hat off.
Oh, Father, you found us.
Indeed, I have. We have a great deal to talk about.
But first, dance.
If we must. And kind of gives one very brief side eye flick to Herr Franz.
And Franz looks back very actually excited. I think well here's the weird thing. This is kind of my thought is I think because it's a dream, like rules fade, gender roles and expectations kind of fall by the wayside, and I think as they dance and move from partner to partner, it doesn't matter the gender of the partner. And I think at that point we get to see, as they partake, Isabella dancing with Lady Silver, Lord Silver dancing with Herr Franz.
It's the ballet. So I think what you see is Isabella lifting Lady Rebecca, and then I'm assuming Lord Silver being the human will have to be lifting.
Yeah. It's just like, and like, just to be clear, Lord Silver is a very tall human. Like, I'm picturing basically like young Michael Caine. Like, so it is a feat of making that look graceful. I think Isabella is still wearing this like open military jacket that's now like kind of just framing her very well, and those two look very happy. What are Mons Jean-Francois Legrande's Comte de Pamplemousse doing?
Yeah, so Jean-Francois, I think, is sort of at the edge of everybody is sort of on stage here at this point doing this ballet, and Jean-Francois is at the edge of the stage and sort of looks to Lady Rebecca, and Isabella looks to Audubon and Lord Silver. And just sort of leans back against one of the sugared columns on the side of the stage, looking rather satisfied.
As to close it out, can I offer you a monologue token
Let's do it.
to take us out of here? Yeah.
So I think Jean-Francois leans back against the column, and Herr Strudelmeyer and Clara kind of come up beside him. Maybe Herr Strudelmeyer comes up sprightly, and Clara sort of twirls and dances over, and he puts his Muppety arms around the both of them.
Ah, well,
my dear Studemayers. I had very different plans for this evening, I will tell you that. Very different plans. But the heart wants what it wants. And in the end, that is what is most important. Love. Even in such a strange world of sweets and magics, love is ultimately what will win the day. Looking at them out there, looking at them so in love, my own heart swells. And in spite of the fact that absolutely nothing I had planned worked out, I feel that I have done good work today. Dance on, young lovers. Dance on.
You turn
And
into
I think-
Toulouse-Lautrec from Moulin Rouge.
I think with that, perhaps we sort of pull back from the palace and out into the snowy moonlit night. We see the stars and the moonlight twinkling on the gumdrops of the forest, and I want there to be like a whirl of sparkling snowflakes that pass before our vision as we see everyone sort of groggily waking up back in the Strudelmeyer house, kind of looking around, looking at each other, trying to figure out, did we all have that dream? Was that real? And in Clara's hands is the Nutcracker, and I think we see as they awake, Autobahn and Lord Silver, their hands are on each other's, and as they awake, Lady Rebecca's and Isabella's hands are clasping each other's, and Clara. I want as you look at the as you come to wakefulness and look at the Nutcracker, sort of in your arms, you notice that it looks like it's been fractured and then repaired.
I like that. Yeah. And I think you get just like at the very tail end, like a voiceover from Clara that says, "They never forgot that night. Certainly I never forgot, but it opened a world of possibility for all of us, for Isabella, for Lady Rebecca Silver, for Herr Audubon, and for Lord Silver, and, well, those of us who just had a little growing up to do, like me. It showed me a whole new world of possibilities for my life." And I think, and she kind of, as the voiceover, continues, like she's turning the Nutcracker, the repaired Nutcracker in her hand. And I think sometimes that it's the best, most fantastical night there ever was. And I think just at the very end, on that lovely note, there's a Muppet that has to come in and like just peek its head like around the corner of the screen and go like, "If you liked this, you should watch the ballet."
And like walks
all
off
right.
with a sign that says "The End."
Aww.
You see Statler and Waldorf kind of just giving a begrudging round of applause and kind of like
And of
their
course,
box.
everyone it has to go out singing. Like all Muppets movies go out
Yeah.
singing, so there has to be songs and like people holding each other and like rocking back and forth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Pour some sugar on me.
No.
I can't get
Not
it.
that one.
Maybe not that
Pour
song.
some sugar.
And I think with that, everyone, our Mupcracker is concluded. Thank you all for joining me on such a fantastic, beautiful adventure. It's been a pleasure to facilitate this, and all of you have been lovely to play with, and I had a fantastic time. I know we don't have too much time, but if anyone wants to make a quick plug or anything like that.
I just want to chime in and just say thank you to Marissa for brainchilding this and running us through and being a fantastic facilitator.
Oh, I'll throw it right back at you, Zach. Thanks for producing. That's always a huge deal. So thanks for running tech. I think we all kind of came together as a team here, and it was fantastic. So my thanks to all of you for such a great game.
Thank you. This was phenomenal.
And thanks everyone for watching, and please enjoy giving the kiss off to this hellfire of a year, and looking forward to better things to come.
And if you're looking forward for something to look forward to in the new year, do you want to take this one, David?
Oh no, go ahead. I just want somebody to say it.
We will be returning
tease
on
himself.
Flights of Fandom. We've got a fun January scheduled, and I believe right off the bat, correct me if I'm wrong, we are heading back into a brief dip back into the world of Gotham and the DC universe with our friendly hench folks. And that's gonna be we're doing a 2-week flight of that. So come join us in the new year with some Gotham fucking shenanigans run by our lovely David.
Yes.
Yeah, and adding to that, just because we've got a couple of us here, The Hole in the World will be coming back January 17th, and that's GM'd by Zach, and Hopper and I are both in that. So check us out if you like Invisible Sun. We should be back with our interlude, The Hole in the World. Well, the war report through The Hole in the World.
And I have one last plug, which is tomorrow and the night after. It's the right day. If you are into a New Year, if you don't have a lot of plans for New Year's Eve, and you've gotten through all of your Zoom calls and what have you, we are doing a 2-part Manapod Happy Hour that is very thematic with the end of the year and New Year's Eve as a whole, and the end of 2020, most importantly. So yeah, so y'all tune in. It is going to be a fun time.
I'll be on the Wednesday night one.
Nice.
All right. Well, with that, if no one else has anything further, thank you all for joining us for this lovely Mupcracker. Keep calm and dream of sugar plums. And to all, a happy new year, and to all, a good night.
So long, everybody.